Focus, November 5 to 18. We do a shift from reading the Word to living out the Word. Host Roland Gale will speak with heads of churches regarding their intervention in getting our lives back on track following Hurricane Melissa. Be sure to join Roland and his guests on Oasis beginning Wednesday, November 5, 12:55 p.m., with a repeat at 5:45 a.m. only on Nationwide, the new revolution in media. Let's all be praying for our nation.
Ready to tackle that building project? Start right. Start here at H&L Rapid True Value for building supplies. The time by H&L Rapid True Value is
Nationwide time, 5 o'clock.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Robian Williams.
And I'm Shalois Michael.
In Nationwide news at this hour, 2 dead after plane carrying relief supplies to Jamaica crashes shortly after taking off from Coral Springs, Florida this morning.
Jamaica to get $10 million US dollars or 1.6 billion Jamaican dollars more from the US for hurricane relief.
Jamaica, this is our backyard. We take it very, very, very seriously that we look after our neighbors and our allies, and we'll continue to do so.
The Prime Minister says the U.S. support has been critical in rescue efforts and supplying aid to marooned communities.
The United States was one of the first responders of our international partners, and that support was particularly invaluable.
Motorists participating in official hurricane relief and recovery operations to get free access to the toll with authorization.
Squash seeks less than 2 years in prison, objects to transnational gang leader tag.
In news from the rest of the world, prosecution hands over documentation in Mohammed's extradition court case in Guyana.
Trump threatens $1 billion legal action against BBC over January 6 speech edit.
In headline sports, ISSA schoolboy football season to restart in last week of November.
And later on our broadcast, in our cover story at 5:35, a Hurricane Melissa relief flight bound for Jamaica crashed in Coral Springs, Florida today. 2 people have been confirmed dead. We'll hear from Transport Minister Darrell Vaz.
In public opinion at 6:26, we ask, are you concerned by the level of misinformation being peddled about the government's Hurricane Melissa relief efforts? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio and message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90FM.
In the nation's business at 6:40, according to the United Nations Development Program, Hurricane Melissa left nearly 5 million tons of debris in its wake. Executive Director of the NSWMA, Audley Gordon, will join us with an update on cleanup efforts.
At 7, U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened legal action against the BBC over the way a speech he made was edited in a documentary aired by Britain's national broadcaster. The documentary triggered the resignations of the BBC's top executive and its head of news. You'll hear more.
All these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile Nationwide 90FM, RevoNews.ai, and on the Revo News app. It's available on Google Play and the App Store. This Monday afternoon, it's Monday, November 10, 2025.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Tragedy struck the Hurricane Melissa relief effort Monday morning in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in the U.S. A plane carrying relief supplies to Jamaica crashed shortly after taking off from Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport on Monday. Fort Lauderdale police say the crash happened around 10:15 this morning. According to NCB Miami, Coral Springs Fire Rescue officials say they responded and a dive team performed a preliminary operation but didn't find any victims. No one on the ground was injured, and it's unknown how many people were on the plane. Officials with the city of Fort Lauderdale say the plane, a Beechcraft King Air, had left Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport and was en route to Montego Bay to assist in Hurricane Melissa relief efforts when it crashed. The Coral Springs police say the scene was still active. NCB Miami has confirmed 2 fatalities so far on board the flight. The plane appeared to have clipped some trees. It took out part of a home's backyard fence before crashing into a small lake.
The U.S. government is providing an additional $10 million or 1.6 billion Jamaican dollars for hurricane relief. U.S. Undersecretary of State for Foreign Assistance Jeremy Lewin made the announcement at a media briefing on Monday.
And our work continues. So with that in mind, I'm announcing an additional $10 million in critical life-saving assistance to the people of Jamaica. That brings our total to $22 million to date. Financial commitments are only one side of it. That doesn't include all the military personnel, all the search and rescue, but the financial commitments are very significant and help underscore just how important Jamaica is to the United States and to the Secretary. Jamaican people, like our people, are proud and resilient, and we have every faith that they will rebound quickly and will build back even better. With that in mind, we will be here. We will be here tomorrow. We will be here next month. We'll be here for every stage of this recovery. And, we look forward to continuing.
The U.S. previously provided $12 million in the immediate aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. It also provided helicopters and other critical equipment and personnel to assist aid efforts. Mr. Lewin says the support reflects the recognition of Jamaica's unique and enduring relationship with the United States.
Jamaica, this is our backyard. I mean, I think like Laura, who's here, the Secretary and I are all from Miami, which is like 500 miles away. We have, 1 million Jamaican Americans. I learned that 2.5 million Americans, we think, come here every year. So it's just tremendously close ties, and that is, we take it very, very, very seriously that we look after our neighbors and our allies, and we'll continue to do so.
Jeremy Lewin, U.S. Undersecretary of State for Foreign Assistance.
And Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has thanked the U.S. government for their ongoing assistance in the wake of Hurricane Melissa. The U.S. government on Monday announced an additional $10 million or 1.6 billion Jamaican dollars for hurricane relief. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
Dr. Andrew Holness says the U.S. support has been critical in the rescue efforts and supplying aid to marooned communities.
The United States was one of the first responders of our international partners who would have come to give support. And that support was particularly invaluable, particularly in the logistics operations, which your helicopters would have augmented. There are many communities in Jamaica that would have been marooned, and the only way to get to them would have been through the capacity for airlift. And you made several of your helicopters, heavy lift helicopters, available to us, and that was crucial in our ability to reach several marooned communities.
Dr. Holness says the aid will be critical in providing much-needed support in the ongoing relief phase. However, the Prime Minister says with a conservative estimate of $7 billion in hurricane damages, it's a certainty more assistance will be required. While committing to strengthening the country's resilience through its own efforts, Dr. Holness also welcomed potential U.S. investment in this regard.
And then, of course, there is the whole recovery phase, which is when we would seek to get our electrical grid, our water and telecommunications, our road infrastructure back to some semblance of normalcy so that people can take their lives into their own hands once again. And then, of course, we will move simultaneously into the reconstruction phase. And that will be another area in which we would be seeking to partner with the U.S., particularly in this phase with investments in infrastructure, technology transfer, and getting commerce back on its feet in Jamaica.
And due to the extent of the disruption, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the relief phase of the government's disaster response will most likely be extended. Dr. Holness says rather than several days, the response to immediate needs could be several weeks, if not months.
The role of the government is to be empathetic, to be responsive as quickly as possible, but also to build the systems that will ensure that there is an enduring response because after a Category 5 hurricane, the relief phase of the disaster is likely to be extended. We're talking several weeks, if not months, of the need for an established supply chain of humanitarian assistance and relief.
Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
Motorists participating in official relief and recovery operations following Hurricane Melissa will now be required to apply to get free access to the toll. The new protocol announced by the Transport Ministry takes effect today. It comes as normal tolling operations resume across the island. Robian Williams reports.
The Transport Ministry says the new protocol is aimed at ensuring that only authorized humanitarian and emergency response vehicles receive toll-free access to efficiently deliver supplies and assistance to affected communities. In a statement on Monday, Transport Minister Darrell Vaz says the initiative reflects the government's continued commitment to speeding up recovery while maintaining proper oversight of relief operations. Under the new system, all ministries, departments and agencies, non-governmental organizations, charitable entities and international partners engaged in humanitarian work must submit a written request for toll access to the Toll Authority of Jamaica. Each application must include details such as the date of travel, organization name, vehicle and driver information, toll corridors to be used, destinations being served, and any accompanying security escort. Requests should be emailed to toll.authority@mtw.gov.jm and jerome.palmer@mtw.gov.jm or made via telephone at 876-929-5119 or 876-929-6393. The authority says approvals will be processed within 9 hours or less to prevent delays to essential relief missions. Upon approval, applicants will receive a letter of authorization which must be presented at toll plazas for verification. Concessionaires are required to keep copies for audit and record-keeping purposes. Private individuals or volunteer groups working with recognized relief organizations may also apply for toll access, provided their applications include the same required information. The ministry also clarified that marked emergency and security vehicles, including police, fire, ambulance, and military units, will continue to have unrestricted access to toll facilities under existing arrangements. Minister Vaz says the new protocol will remain in effect until government-led recovery and relief operations are complete. Robian Williams for Nationwide News. Ridiculous. That's how Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Senator Marlon Morgan, is describing rumors on social media that persons have to present an identification card to benefit from relief packages.
Your government, the government of Jamaica, would in no way, shape or form impose a requirement on you to present your identification or anything of the sort to receive care packages, such things as hygiene products, food and water. It is just ridiculous. The government is a thinking government, and we know that many households have been displaced. People have had their homes flooded, so even though they may have secured their ID and key documents in a plastic bag and so on, some of them something they float Ghana Sea right now.
There have been several videos posted on social media over the weekend showing persons verbally abusing government officials for mandating that only citizens with identification cards can collect food and other relief supplies. But the Labour and Social Security Ministry says the ID for food claims are plain lies. It says none of its agents or collaborators and partners from other government ministries, departments or agencies will ask for identification in exchange for providing food. It says there appears to be an attempt by unscrupulous or uniformed individuals to conflate two separate activities. The ministry says documentation is normally requested during the process of assessing damage to a household following a disaster. This in an effort to verify and identify the identity of householders whose names have been affected and to ensure that post-relief benefits are delivered to legitimate owners. It says social workers have also been instructed to proceed with all assessments, even where documentation does not exist. Meanwhile, Senator Morgan says though relief efforts have been constrained due to inaccessible roads, airlifting aid has proven helpful.
Last Thursday, I went to a place called through Lambs River, Seaford Town to St. Leonard's to deliver relief supply along with a friend of mine, right? And we had to use the Long Hill Road, come through Anchovy, Mount Carey, and past Chester Castle to make our way up into St. Leonard's in Dayton Campbell's, Westmoreland, Eastern. We couldn't use the easier route, which was the route from Anchovy through Cambridge because of a breakaway. So I know that the response has been constrained by that, but I'm delighted that on account of the Chinook helicopters, for example, we have been having some aerial food drops in some of those areas that have been severely cut off and particularly inaccessible at this point in time.
Senator Marlon Morgan, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education, he was speaking on Cliff Hughes Online on Monday. You're listening to Nationwide News at 5. More news after these.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
15 minutes after 5.
Rentokil Initial offices in Mandeville and Mobay are closed until further notice. The Kingston office is operational. Rentokil Initial empathizes with our fellow Jamaicans as we rebuild Jamaica together. The temperature brought to you by Rentokil Initial is
31 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 30 out west in Montego Bay.
Ho, ho, ho! And what would you like for Christmas?
A paint tough enough for my messy grandkids. Perfect color matching for my living room.
Paint that covers in fewer coats, A finish that stands up to sun or rain,
BH Paints has you covered. Now up to 25% off.
Be one of the first 200 monthly to register on championsofcolor.com and get a free gallon of BH New Ultima Advanced Formula. No purchase required.
All I want for Christmas is BH Paints.
Discounts available at BH Paint stores and participating hardwares.
Continuing the news, the human rights lobby group Jamaicans for Justice, JFJ, is adding its voice to a call for the government to implement a real-time audit of funds coming into the country for Hurricane Melissa relief efforts. The call was first made by the Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal, JAMP. Executive Director of JFJ, Michael Jackson, says the real-time audit model is crucial to prevent accountability issues.
We are witnessing where millions of U.S. currency are coming to the country as different agencies and countries provide support to Jamaica post-Hurricane Melissa. When you have a real-time audit model from the Auditor General, what it allows is proactive responses in terms of any corrective measures that ought to be made. It may identify challenges in real time and you are in the position to fix it.
The government adopted an audit model approach in 2020 during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. At that time, then Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark worked alongside the Auditor General's Department to ensure real-time audits of key spending measures in an effort to protect public resources. Concern has been raised that this audit model will slow down the delivery of much-needed supplies to hurricane-ravaged parishes. But Ms. Jackson says not so.
You're not going to be delaying expenditure by having this real-time audit being done. So I do agree with JAMP that while there may be reasonable arguments to be made about the potentiality for layered bureaucracy, I don't think it outweighs that real-time audit and what it offers in terms of preventing the possibility of mismanagement of funds, as well as ensuring that you reduce waste and you correct things mid-process rather than post-expenditure.
Michael Jackson, Executive Director of JFJ. She was speaking on the JFJ-produced show Let's Talk Justice on Nationwide 90 FM on Monday.
The attorney representing dancehall artist Squash has asked the court to sentence his client to less than 2 years in prison for a gun conviction in the United States. Squash, whose given name is Andre Whitaker, is being represented by Samuel R. Rabin, Jr. from Rabin and Lopez. William Mitchell tells us more.
The 34-year-old was charged with possession of a firearm by a person unlawfully present in the United States and unlawful possession of a machine gun. The charges each carry maximum sentences of 10 years in prison. However, the Montego Bay native accepted a guilty charge for the first offense in a plea deal, which will likely significantly reduce his jail time. In his submission to the court, Mr. Rabin posits that based on his interpretation of the sentencing guidelines, Squash is likely facing 24 to 30 months in prison. The sentencing hearing is set for November 24. However, Rabin says based on Squash's background, the circumstances of his offense, his character references and immigration status, the entertainer should receive a sentence of less than 2 years. The attorney says a lesser sentence would be sufficient to serve the goal of justice. Mr. Rabin leans heavily on the entertainer's immigration status, saying Squash will likely spend additional time in the custody of Immigration and Customs Enforcement after his release from prison. The attorney argues this should negate concerns about Squash being a threat to the public. The attorney also argues that courts have recognized that the prospect of deportation reduces the necessity for a lengthy custodial sentence. Squash's defense attorney also included samples of the character letters submitted to the court in his argument. The letters were from Squash's wife, Naomi, a sound system engineer and a security guard. They described the entertainer's kindness, public service, entrepreneurial spirit, and strong sense of family. Naomi says Squash's 5 children missed their father, while the engineer recounted a time when he was invited to dinner with Squash's family while working late. Meanwhile, in a separate submission, Mr. Rabin objected to sections of Squash's pre-sentence investigation report. That document has not been made public. According to the attorney, the report contains conclusory and misleading information that Squash is an active member and leader of a transnational criminal organization. It also says that the serial number of the seized firearm was tampered with. Mr. Rabin asked the court to strike the gang leader claim unless the government can provide reliable and specific evidence. And he contends that when the gun in question was purchased by Squash's wife, the serial number had already been defaced. He says their inclusion could influence the court's eventual sentence. William Mitchell for Nationwide News.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
The World in a Minute.
The extradition case against Guyanese businessman Azruddin Mohammed and Nazar Mohammed has been adjourned until November 24. The matter was adjourned on Monday to give Magistrate Judy Latchman time to deliberate on the documents provided by the prosecution. These include a diplomatic note, an authenticated statement from the United States Secretary of State, and warrants of arrest for indicted. The documentation, according to the prosecution, proves the legitimacy of the extradition request against the father and son duo. The prosecutors further told the court that they were still to disclose additional documents and will do so at next hearing.
U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened legal action against the BBC over the way a speech he made was edited in a documentary aired by Britain's national broadcaster. BBC chairman on Monday apologized for the error of judgment. It triggered the resignations of the BBC's top executive and its head of news. Director General Tim Davie and News Chief Deborah Turnus quit Sunday over accusations of bias in editing a speech Trump delivered on January 6, 2021. Now, the edit put 2 parts of Trump's speech together, so he appeared to explicitly encourage the Capitol Hill riots. A letter from Trump's attorney demands the BBC retract the statements by November 14 or face legal action for $1 billion in damages. The BBC said it would review the letter and respond directly in due course.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour. 2 dead after plane carrying relief supplies to Jamaica crashes shortly after taking off from Coral Springs, Florida this morning.
Jamaica to get $10 million or 1.6 billion Jamaican dollars more from the U.S. for hurricane relief.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the U.S. support has been critical in rescue efforts and supplying aid to marooned communities.
Motorists participating in official hurricane relief and recovery operations to get free access to the toll with authorization.
I'm Roby Ann Williams.
And I'm Shalois Michael.
You can find the news on our website at revonews.ai and on the Revo News app. It's available on Google Play and the App Store. News next, the headlines at 6.
Attention Path beneficiaries. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security understands that your family may have been affected by Hurricane Melissa. To ensure that no one is left behind, we have extended the October 2025 Path payment cycle for an additional week. You may visit your payment location to collect your benefit up to November 11. If you experience difficulty due to closure of your assigned post office or payment location, please let us know. Call our Client Care Center 876-922-8013 or send us a WhatsApp message 876-582-8972. Together we'll recover, one family at a time. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security, the People's Ministry, leaving no one behind.
SCL Jamaica Limited is having a big blowout sale. Up to 70% off on Milwaukee tools. From power drills to saws, their top-notch Milwaukee tools will handle any project with ease. Hurry to SCL Jamaica Limited at Block L, Sagicor Industrial Center, 7 Norman Road, or call 876-938-1397 for more details. Sale runs November 10 to 28. Terms and conditions apply. Milwaukee, nothing but heavy duty.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. The 2025 Easter Schoolboy football season could restart in 2 weeks after it was postponed indefinitely due to the passage of Hurricane Melissa. Both competitions, the Manning and the Costa Cups, were at the round of 16 stage when the hurricane hit and damaged large parts of the island. Now, the hierarchy of the Inter-Secondary School Sports Association, ISA, met with the principals and coaches on Sunday to decide on the way forward. Ewan Scott is competition officer at ISA, and he told Nationwide Sports on Monday that no official decision has yet been made. However, the schools are very receptive to a restart, and the late November date is being looked at.
We have been having meetings with stakeholders, inclusive of the 16 DaCosta Cup teams, and more so the 6 that have been adversely affected by Hurricane Melissa, namely Stets, Margaret, Mannings, Malden, Cornwall College, and William Lip. And the discussions continue, and yes, a possible restart date would be late November.
Scott says the Manning Cup is definitely a go, as the urban schools suffered little to no disruption. However, 6 of the rural area schools have suffered badly, 2 in particular, Magotty and Malden.
Assistance with some of these schools require, inclusive of training, being able to train, etc., and that is also being put in the discussion as to how we can assist in one way or another. We had put out reach out to the schools, and the Manning Cup schools are raring to go. The 10 schools that have not been affected in the DaCosta Cup are also raring to go, and the 6 schools in the affected area, 4 have not been as affected as some of the others. London and Magotty having some more challenges, but they are looking at the possibility of continuing the competition.
Competition officer at ISSA, Ewan Scott. The Walker and Ben Francis Cup knockout tournaments will also be played with a potential cutoff date of mid-December set for the season to end. There's no decision yet on the ISSA President's Cup. Jamaica's national senior men's football team coach Stevie McLaren says the players are determined to lift the spirit of the nation by qualifying for a FIFA World Cup finals for a second time. Large parts of the country was damaged by Hurricane Melissa on October 28, and McLaren says the players believe that booking their ticket to a football showpiece would be more than a perfect gift to the country.
The motivation that's been there from day one, Jamaica, why do they travel thousands and thousands of miles to come over? We said this 18 months ago. Everybody's goal was World Cup qualification, and we're on the brink. We've come this far. We've had 18 months working towards this moment. We've had ups and downs. We've had success. We've had failures, disappointments, and it all boils down to this. They know the importance. They know more than us. We don't need to pile any more pressure on them. We do that every camp they come. But I think we've got the added pressure of the people of Jamaica who are suffering at the present moment and the devastation and travesty that they must be going through.
Steve McLaren, coach of the national senior men's football team. Jamaica's got 2 more games in their qualifying cycle. They visit Trinidad and Tobago for a showdown against the Soccer Warriors on Thursday at the Hazel Crawford Stadium in Port of Spain, and before coming back to Jamaica to take on Curacao at the National Stadium in Kingston 4 nights later. A victory over Curacao will seal the Jamaican spot to the World Cup, irrespective of the other results in the entire remaining games in the qualifying series. They can even afford a defeat in Trinidad and Tobago. Once they beat Curacao, they're right through into the World Cup. The Trinis are still with a very slim chance of getting an automatic spot to the World Cup. Worst case scenario, though, they can get into the best second place team of all the qualifying, which will take them into a qualifying series for the Intercontinental Tournament. Dwight York, though, their coach, says 1 game at a time, and he's focusing squarely on the showdown with the Reggae Boys on Thursday night.
And we know the significance of the Jamaican game. There is no hiding place. I've always stated that. We have the home advantage. We've got a fantastic record here, certainly under my reign, and we're looking to try and add to that. We know Jamaica is not going to be pushed over by any means. We need to be at our best. We're showing that we have closed the gap on Jamaica, despite the result of the last game. But we feel as a team, as a unit, that we can get a victory here come Thursday.
Dwight York, Trinidad and Tobago's national senior men's football team coach. And finally, the International Olympic Committee has moved a step closer to introducing a blanket ban on transgender women from female categories across all sport. Now, the IOC president, Kirsty Coventry, vowed to bring in the policy as part of her election campaign and set up a working group on the protection of women's sport. A ban is likely to be introduced in 2026 following a presentation by the IOC medical chief, Dr. Jane Thornton, who updated the members of the organization works through the details of the potential move. Dr. Thornton revealed that initial findings of the science-based review suggested that athletes born male retain psychological advantages even after reducing testosterone levels. It's understood that any blanket ban is unlikely to be introduced before the 2026 Winter Olympics, but could be brought in before the 2028 Los Angeles Olympic Games. The IOC has previously left sex eligibility regulations to the governing bodies of individual sport rather than to apply a universal approach, with many allowing transgender women athletes to compete in the female competition if they lower their testosterone levels. After being elected, Coventry said a working group on the issues made up of experts and international federations would ensure they find consensus. And that's sports. We're going to be back with more at 6:05.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade. From Kingston to the world, from Montego Bay to new adventures, and from Ocherias to endless possibilities. Wherever you're headed, we will proudly take you there. Jamaica's airport, your global gateway. The temperature brought to you by the Airports Authority of Jamaica is
31 degrees Celsius here in the nation's capital, Kingston. It's 30 in the western city, Montego Bay.
We are the best at what we do. At Hose Assembly and Supply Limited, we supply hose, fittings, and tools. We guarantee we can't be beaten when price and quality are combined. You brand us the Hose and Tool Boss because we deliver the most effective industrial solutions. Come in and experience the joy of shopping with Hose Assembly and Supply Limited. Call us 876-923-3936 or visit 173 Hagley Park Road, 2 Charlesworth Crescent or Montego Bay Trade Center. Hose Assembly and Supply Limited. More than just hoses. Now open every Sunday.
They've lost homes.
Everything is gone. Have no house, have nothing.
They've lost power.
No water, no food, no light, no bed. Jamaican people need desperate help.
Some haven't heard a familiar voice in days.
The last thing I said to my sister, please be safe. And that was the last time.
For others, hope is starting to ebb. But together, we are rebuilding Jamaica, one parish at a time.
We have to try. We have to try. Can't give up.
Join Nationwide 90 FM from November 21 to December 19, every Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. as we broadcast live from Westmoreland, St. James, Trelawney, Hanover, and St. Elizabeth, helping families and communities rebuild after Hurricane Melissa.
And you can help too.
Bring your donations, non-perishable food, water, hygiene products, lighting, or recovery supplies to our office at 14 Ocean Boulevard, the Digital Building, downtown Kingston.
Let's show the true strength of our nation: unity, compassion, and care. Together, we can rebuild lives and restore hope. Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Do you have a consumer-related issue? Want to learn more about matters concerning you as a consumer? Well, keep it locked to Nationwide 90 FM for the Consumer Hour with me, Nora Gay Banton, weekdays from 9 to 10 a.m. For all your consumer-centric matters, stay tuned to the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Cover Story is brought to you by
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
Multilink. Access every time, everywhere I go. Multilink. 24/7 access for me. It's just a win-win when we use Multilink. This card is Jamaican built, yeah. Fast and secure, you can use anywhere. Spend while supporting the economy.
Look for the Multilink logo on your card and benefit from Jamaica's largest debit payment network.
Multilink, 24/7 access for me.
What would I do without my Multilink?
Good afternoon, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide at 5. I'm Cliff.
I'm Sondre Roden.
Good afternoon, Sondre.
Good afternoon to you, Cliff.
I think it's the first time we're working together.
Yeah.
Welcome, man.
Good being here.
Good. Well, in our cover story this afternoon, tragedy struck the Hurricane Melissa relief effort Monday morning in Fort Lauderdale, Florida in the U.S. A plane carrying relief supplies to Jamaica crashed shortly after taking off from Fort Lauderdale's executive airport this morning.
According to NBC Miami, Coral Springs fire rescue officials say they responded and a dive team performed a preliminary operation but didn't find any victims. No one on the ground was injured, and it's unknown how many people were on the plane.
Officials with the city of Fort Lauderdale say the plane, a Beechcraft King Air, had left Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport and was en route to Montego Bay to help in Hurricane Melissa relief efforts when it crashed. The Coral Springs police say the scene was still active. NBC Miami is confirming 2 fatalities so far on board the flight.
The plane appeared to have clipped some trees. It took out part of the home's backyard fence before crashing into a small lake. Here's more from NBC 6, South Florida.
6 right now over the aftermath of a small plane crash in Coral Springs. Debris scattered the backyards of these homes, and investigators are right now on scene.
Let's take you there now with NBC6's Shanae Amara joining us live. Shanae, what have you learned from investigators there?
Well, ladies, we got here about 10-15 minutes ago. You can see behind me it is a very active scene, and it seems to be a bit of a mystery here as well because the victims in this crash or whoever was on the plane have yet to be found. You can see, as I said, it is very busy here. This is Creekside Drive in Coral Springs. Police and fire crews have the entire area blocked off. This is a neighborhood near North State Road 7 and Wiles Road. Now, again, we're told a small plane went down in a body of water just behind one of the homes inside this gated community. But here's what officials say on the ground. No one on the ground was injured. No victims on that plane were found, and there's no sense of who could have been on board. There were divers in the water. We know there was a lot of debris as well, but the plane itself has yet to be recovered. Now, neighbors tell us they heard a loud noise, and then they rushed outside. Take a listen.
Then come to find out it was a plane that crashed into the water, into the lake, like right behind someone's house. It was honestly crazy. It shook me up. So I came over here as fast as possible, and first responders were already on scene. So you live that.
Right now, the whole neighborhood is out here watching, trying to figure out exactly what happened. Coral Springs Police and Coral Springs Parkland Fire are both on scene. We're still working to confirm how many people were on board. Again, this is a very active scene. You can see the incident command here. And really just looking around, there's a lot of neighbors. Even behind the camera, there's the entire neighborhood out here. Everybody is waiting, wondering, hoping to get some answers, to figure out what exactly happened and who may have been on board. Reporting live in Coral Springs, Shanae Amara, NBC6 News.
Thank you, NBC6 South Florida, for that report. We also have, for those watching on our YouTube live stream, CCTV footage of the moment the aircraft crashed. Yes, there you can see the moment it hit the earth, and we are learning this evening that there are confirmed 2 fatalities, 2 people dead, although the fear is that that could increase to about 6 or 8. All right? We've been working this story since mid-afternoon. We're now being joined by the Transport Minister, Daryl Vaz. Minister Vaz, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, listeners. I just stepped out of the cabinet just to give you an update.
Okay, what can you tell us? What new can you tell us?
I can tell you that an inquiry was made for a landing permit by this aircraft prior to it taking off, and it was not completed because there was missing information. So there was no flight permission to land in Montego Bay today by the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority. But they were aware of the inquiry based on the communication that came in, and after the additional information was requested, it was not forthcoming. And attempts to contact the operator of the flight also was unsuccessful. So at this point, we are aware of the flight, and we were made aware this morning when a notification came in that an aircraft bound from Montego Bay from Florida crashed shortly after takeoff, as you said before, Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport. And it matches the same information that came in. Mm-hmm. I won't call the name of the applicant until such time as we can confirm what the status is of the pilot and the passengers. But that was definitely an inquiry to land at the IAM Jet Center in Montego Bay. I can also say that the same person who made this inquiry had 2 flights out of Cayman to Jamaica since Melissa. So it seems that he was very active in relief, humanitarian relief supplies to Jamaica. Mm-hmm. And our condolences go out on behalf of the government of Jamaica to the families of those who are said to be never made it through this unfortunate incident. I haven't got confirmation through the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority or any official authority in relation to any deaths. But I see you announcing that you have information as such.
Yes. NBC in the U.S. is confirming that 2 fatalities. So I was about to ask you, based on the application made, how many people were to have been on board?
Didn't state. It didn't get to that. It didn't get to that point. Well, there was an application from one individual to operate the flight. So we didn't get the cargo or the other passengers, which is a requirement prior to issuing the landing permit.
So how do we know it was hurricane relief supplies?
Well, the truth of the matter is that that is what is being reported. It didn't state that on the inquiry. But as I said before, there were 2 flights in recent days out of Cayman to Jamaica. So that we just have to summarize. But as I said before, the information is sketchy because we did not get to the point of a formal application being received by the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority. But I must point out that's not unusual in the situation that we find ourselves in now, as there's a lot of people that want to help and get help here as quickly as possible, and they're not following the established procedures, which is causing us a problem in that area and other areas of the relief logistics.
Minister, to track back a little, I just want to understand the Caymanian flights. What relief items? What was the cargo on those flights?
Didn't get that detail as yet. That was just information in passing based on the applicant that made the application.
And the applicant is a U.S.-based or Caymanian-based flight operator?
I have no idea. We didn't get to that point. We just have the name of whom communicated with the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, which, as I said, I wouldn't disclose at this point until such time as the FAA does their investigation.
But you can confirm that this operator had applied and delivered relief supplies on 2 previous occasions.
Not sure if it's really supplies. I mean, I could get that information. I didn't get that information. What I can say for sure is that an inquiry for this aircraft was made to the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, and additional information was required, which was never supplied, and therefore there was no landing permit granted for them to land in Montego Bay today.
And you got the application only this morning, you said? Did you?
The application would have been... The application, I'm just looking here on my brief to see when we got that application.
All right, let's take a break and come back with you, Minister.
By email November 10th. November 10th. That's correct. At 9:36 a.m.
9:36 this morning.
Yeah. That would be shortly before. That would have been shortly before you took off.
Yes, it crashed at around 10:15.
Yeah, and that was via email. And as I said, at 9:44, we responded advising that there were additional requirements for the permit to be issued before departing the point of origin. And therefore, obviously, that was not followed and the flight took off.
Is this normal, that an application would come so late before takeoff?
No. As I said, that's the issue we've been having because of the list of response. And of course, everybody is so anxious and trying to move as quickly as possible. So we've been having that challenge, and that gives us a lot of problems with the logistics when they land without notification or permit, because then we're not prepared for them. So it has been happening frequently.
So that lengthens the time of the relief efforts going from the airport.
Absolutely. We don't know what's coming either. They don't know the process that they have to follow to make sure that the goods are consigned to ODPEM. And all of the logistical challenges that have been facing over the last 11 days.
Hold for us there, Minister. We're going for a break and we'll be right back with you.
Protecting your personal data is a priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. We urge you to use the agency's official platforms to conduct your business. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
12 minutes to 6.
MSME operators, the NWC MSME Amnesty is a lifeline. Grab it. Apply between September 1 and November 30, 2025. Visit nwcjamaica.com. Email us at customercare@nwc.com.jm. You can also visit any commercial office or dial 888-NWC. Get a 50% debt write-off on your small commercial account if you pay all other outstanding debts or sign a payment agreement to do so in 3 months. Apply today.
Since 1995, we've been your go-to source for everything related to billiards, amusement machines, and electronics. With locations at 1A Lindsay Terrace, Kingston 10, and the Village Plaza, Big Bridge, Savannah Lamar, we offer top-quality pool table parts and accessories, cutting-edge gaming machines, and more. We also specialize in assembly, sales, and service of amusement machines. We provide unmatched customer service, expert solutions, and products tailored to your needs. Who are we? We are Eclipse Enterprise. Telephone 876-960-3891.
11 minutes going up to 6 o'clock if you're just joining us. The news, the Hurricane Melissa relief effort. Got some bad news this morning. A light aircraft coming out of Coral Springs in Fort Lauderdale in the U.S. crashed just after taking off from Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport around 10:15 this morning. We are also learning from the Jamaican Minister of Transport, Daryl Vaz, that they got the application for the plane to land at Sangster International in Montego Bay at about 9:36 this morning. The application was not approved. They asked because it lacked certain information, and they asked for the missing information to be supplied, and that was it. And then next thing, the plane crashed this morning, shortly after taking off. Media reports in the area in Fort Lauderdale, South Florida, are saying that 2 fatalities have been confirmed. 2 fatalities have been confirmed. It was a King Air Beechcraft, aircraft, a King Air Beechcraft. Yes, it had left Fort Lauderdale's Executive Airport. Minister Vaz is back with us.
Minister Vaz? Great. So we've been seeing a lot happening on social media with this conversation of generators, about 400 generators, of course. The conversation about it
we should tell him we're switching a little, Minister. So we're going to generators. Yes? Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead, Sandra.
Right, so, they're being loaned, and then there's a lot of misinformation, disinformation about what exactly is happening with the generators. So we're asking for some clarity on the reason for these generators and what exactly is the government doing as it relates to issuing the generators.
So the generators have been coming in from donations from charitable organizations and from government to government, mostly government to government. These generators specifically, first and foremost, have to deal with the apparatus that needs to be powered in order for the government to continue to be able to function. So it's going to be used for schools, it's going to be used for shelters in some cases in the short term, and all sorts of government entities that require generators to be able to function at an optimum. So I don't know where the argument of loans and whether people are going to get it on loan or what, but there will be an emphasis on the government apparatus first, and then obviously we will have to look and see what else is required in terms of NGOs, etc., etc. But I've seen it out there. I don't know where it has come from because generators have not been dispatched other than to government entities and government structures, and therefore I don't know where this has come from, to be honest with you. I saw it, but I haven't even had time to read it, to penetrate it properly.
So to be clear, it's for the police officers, municipal corporations, schools.
Every government entity that is in need of electricity especially in light of the fact that the timelines that are being projected for the western parishes that have been hit are not weeks. In some cases, it goes into months. So we have to make sure. As a matter of fact, I went to Petersville on Saturday, where there was 200 persons in the shelter and maybe 400 outside the shelter. And one of the things that was done and is being done today is to get them some generation for that particular shelter because it's overcrowded. And secondly, the fact of the matter is that it needs to have light to be able to function properly. So I don't know where that argument came from. What I can say, we have enough police stations, we have enough schools, we have enough essential services that need to be powered during this period to make sure that the country and the government continues to function and the services continue to be offered to the citizens in those affected areas. So we're not quite sure where that came from, but I will just say to you, that's emphasis of the government right now. Once we have an idea as to how much generators we have and how much we need and dispatch all we need to the government entities, then we can have that discussion.
Minister, JPS told us yesterday evening into this morning that 62% of its customers and grid is back up. Yes, 38% now without power. Are you satisfied with the pace of restoration of JPS?
As you know, the percentages don't impress me at all. It's the areas and the communities that are unaffected are affected, and I can tell you that the pressure is on because the areas that are not affected by the hurricane still don't have electricity in many parts of them. So I have a 6:30 meeting this afternoon here that I'm going to know with the president, and then tomorrow he will come to the 10 o'clock press briefing to advise the country as to where we are. But you can rest assured that percentages don't impress me. So I just want to know the areas that don't have, when they're going to get back, and when are we going to have a plan for the western parishes, which we are working through with them, because those are challenging based on the estimates that are being produced for restoration of the grid overall, and especially in those areas.
Clarendon and Hanover, up to yesterday evening, based on the statement from JPS, had no power. No one there had power restored. Yes? So the short answer to my question, you're not satisfied?
No.
Ray?
You'll hear more from me on that.
Yes.
I understand the challenges. Obviously, a Category 5 is not something that you plan for. You can plan for, but at the same time, we need to make sure that we are making sure that everything that we can do to get back those that can come back is done in the shortest possible time.
You're a senior minister in charge at one level with this relief effort. What do you make of the complaints we're hearing about people needing identification to access relief supplies, sir?
Ludicrous.
Sure, not sure.
I don't need to say anything more.
Ludicrous. Why ludicrous?
Because at this point in time, that is the last thing that should be on your agenda. I don't say that you don't need to do it in certain assessments, but I refuse to believe that it could be true that people are being asked to provide identification to get relief packages.
I'll confirm.
And that's not government policy, just for the record?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What I can't seem to get through to the people of Jamaica, especially those who are involved in the relief efforts in the government and elsewhere, is that we have got to move from normal time to extreme times. And that transition is taking too long because people are still sticking to what obtains in normal times, which we don't have the time for in extreme times. So it's a delicate balance, because obviously people don't want to breach or to breach procedures, processes, etc. But you gotta have a conscience, number one, and number two, you gotta be able to roll the dice and do what you need to do and justify it after.
In terms of internet connectivity, Minister, Starlink devices have been allowing some persons to connect across the island. Do you have any information on us receiving any more of those devices so that persons can contact family members?
There are NGOs that are charitable organizations that are bringing in Starlink has given to the government. I think I heard today that we may have another 200 mobiles, but I've also found a source of 450 that the government can access, which I'm working on right now as we see, because communication is key to any relief effort like this in terms of families being able to talk to one another and government to be able to respond.
Thank you very much, Minister.
Heading back to Cabinet.
Good. Okay. Minister of Energy and Telecommunications and Transport. No, Energy and Transport, Daryl Vaz. Thank you so much. That's it for the cover story. The headlines are next.
Cover Story was brought to you by
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
The time brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy is
6 o'clock.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening. With the headlines at 6, I'm Nora Gay Banton. Tragedy struck the Hurricane Melissa relief effort Monday morning in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in the U.S. A plane carrying relief supplies to Jamaica crashed shortly after taking off from Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport on Monday. Fort Lauderdale police say the crash happened around 10:15 this morning. According to NBC Miami, Coral Springs fire rescue officials say they responded and a dive team performed a preliminary operation but didn't find any victims. No one on the ground was injured and it's unknown how many people were on the plane. Officials with the city of Fort Lauderdale say the plane, Beechcraft King Air, had left Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport and was en route to Montego Bay to assist in Hurricane Melissa relief efforts when it crashed. The U.S. government is providing an additional $10 million or 1.6 billion Jamaican dollars for hurricane relief. U.S. Undersecretary of State for Foreign Assistance Jeremy Lewin made the announcement at a media briefing on Monday.
And our work continues. So with that in mind, I'm announcing an additional $10 million in critical life-saving assistance to the people of Jamaica. That brings our total to $22 million to date. Financial commitments are only one side of it. That doesn't include all the military personnel, all the search and rescue, but the financial commitments are very significant and help underscore just how important Jamaica is to the United States and to the Secretary. Jamaican people, like our people, are proud and resilient, and we have every faith that they will rebound quickly and will build back even better. With that in mind, we will be here. We will be here tomorrow. We will be here next month. We'll be here for every stage of this recovery. And, we look forward to continuing.
The U.S. previously provided $12 million in the immediate aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. It also provided helicopters and other critical equipment and personnel to assist aid efforts. Mr. Lewin says the support reflects the recognition of Jamaica's unique and enduring relationship with the United States.
Jamaica, this is our backyard. I mean, I think like Laura, who's here, the Secretary and I are all from Miami, which is like 500 miles away. We have, 1 million Jamaican Americans. I learned that 2.5 million Americans, we think, come here every year. So it's just tremendously close ties, and that is, we take it very, very, very seriously that we look after our neighbors and our allies, and we'll continue to do so.
Jeremy Lewin, U.S. Undersecretary of State for Foreign Assistance. And Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has thanked the U.S. government for their ongoing assistance in the wake of Hurricane Melissa. The U.S. government on Monday announced an additional $10 million US. Dr. Andrew Holness says the U.S. support has been critical in the rescue efforts and supplying aid to marooned communities.
The United States was one of the first responders of our international partners who would have come to give support. And that support was particularly invaluable, particularly in the logistics operations, which your helicopters would have augmented. There are many communities in Jamaica that would have been marooned, and the only way to get to them would have been through the capacity for airlift. And you made several of your helicopters, heavy lift helicopters, available to us, and that was crucial in our ability to reach several marooned communities.
Dr. Holness says the aid will be critical in providing much needed support in the ongoing relief phase. However, the Prime Minister says with a conservative estimate of $7 billion US in hurricane damages, it's a certainty more assistance will be required, while committing to strengthening the country's resilience through its own efforts. Dr. Holness also welcomed potential U.S. investment in this regard.
And then, of course, there is the whole recovery phase, which is when we would seek to get our electrical grid, our water and telecommunications, our road infrastructure back to some semblance of normalcy so that people can take their lives into their own hands once again. And then, of course, we will move simultaneously into the reconstruction phase. And that will be another area in which we would be seeking to partner with the U.S., particularly in this phase with investments in infrastructure, technology transfer, and getting commerce back on its feet in Jamaica.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Motorists participating in official relief and recovery operations following Hurricane Melissa will now be required to apply to get free access to the toll. The new protocol announced by the Transport Ministry takes effect today, Monday. It comes as normal tolling operations resume across the island. The Transport Ministry says the new protocol is aimed at ensuring that only authorized humanitarian and emergency response vehicles receive toll-free access to efficiently deliver supplies and assistance to affected communities. In a statement on Monday, Transport Minister Darrell Vaz says the initiative reflects the government's continued commitment to speeding up recovery while maintaining proper oversight of relief efforts. Under the new system, all ministries, departments and agencies, non-governmental organizations, charitable entities and international partners engaged in humanitarian work must submit a written request for toll access to the Toll Authority of Jamaica. Each application must include details such as the date of travel, organization name, vehicle and driver information, toll corridors to be used, destinations being served, and any accompanying security escort. Requests should be emailed to toll.authority@mtw.gov.jm and jerome.palmer@mtw.gov.jm or made via telephone at 876-929-5119 or 876-929-6393. The authority says approvals will be processed within 9 hours or less to prevent delays to essential relief missions. Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Nora Gay Banton. Sports is next.
Enough power tool, big to small. Jackama figure dig the wall.
Our Total Tools.
Weed whacker figure trim the lawn. We have everything a job demand.
Total Tools.
We rent them, sell them and fix them. Also give Total Tools a call. When I say home improvement, landscape construction, a Total Tools are your option. Home improvement, landscape construction, Total Tools are your option.
Total Tools, located at 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios, 34 Slibe Road, Kingston. And lot C6 Jacksaw, Sentence Bay. Call us today.
Multi-link, access every time, everywhere I go. Multi-link, 24/7 access for me. It's just a win-win when we use multi-link. This card is Jamaican built, yeah. Fast and secure, you can use anywhere, spend while supporting the economy.
Look for the Multilink logo on your card and benefit from Jamaica's largest debit payment network.
Multi-link, 24/7 access for me.
What would I do without my Multilink?
Surprise, surprise, Orrin Buchanan with your evening sports. The 2025 ISA schoolboy football season could restart in 2 weeks after it was postponed indefinitely due to the passage of Hurricane Melissa. Both competitions, the Manning and the Costa Cups, were at the round of 16 stage when the hurricane hit and damaged large parts of the island. The hierarchy of the Intersecondary School Sports Association, ISA, met with principals and coaches on Sunday to decide on the way forward. Ewan Scott is competitions officer at ISA, and he told Nationwide Sports on Monday that no final decision has yet to be made. However, the schools are receptive to a restart, and a late November date is being looked at.
We have been having meetings with stakeholders, inclusive of the 16 DaCosta Cup teams, and more so the 6 that have been adversely affected by Hurricane Melissa, namely Stretz, Margaret, Manning, Malden, Cornwall College, and William Nip. And the discussions continue, and yes, a possible restart date would be late November.
Scott says the Manning Cup is definitely a go as the urban schools suffered little to no disruption. However, 6 of the rural area schools have suffered badly, 2 in particular, Magati and Malden.
Assistance with some of these schools require, inclusive of training, being able to train, etc., and that is also being put in the discussion as to how we can assist in one way or another. We had put out, reach out to the schools, and the Manning Cup schools are rearing to go. The 10 schools that have not been affected in the DaCosta Cup are also rearing to go, and the 6 schools in the affected area, 4 have not been as affected as some of the others. London and Magati having some more challenges, but they are looking at the possibility of continuing the competition.
Ewan Scott, competition officer at ISA. The Walk-on Ben Francis Cup knockout tournaments will also be played with a potential cut-off date of mid-December set for the season to end. There is no decision yet on the ISA President's Cup. Jamaica's national senior men's football coach Steve McLaren says the players are determined to lift the spirit of the nation by qualifying for the 2026 FIFA World Cup for a second time. Large parts of the country was ravaged by Category 5 Hurricane Melissa on October 28th, and McLaren says he hopes the players believe that booking their ticket to FIFA football's showpiece event would be more than perfect for the country.
The motivation that's been there from day one, Jamaica, why do they travel thousands and thousands of miles to come over? We said this 18 months ago. Everybody's goal was World Cup qualification, and we're on the brink. We've come this far. We've had 18 months working towards this moment. We've had ups and downs. We've had success. We've had failures, disappointments, and it all boils down to this. They know the importance. They know more than us. We don't need to pile any more pressure on them. We do that every camp they come. But I think we've got the added pressure of the people of Jamaica who are suffering at the present moment, and the devastation and travesty that they must be going through.
Jamaica has 2 more games left in their qualifying cycle as they visit Trinidad and Tobago on Thursday. to face the Soca Warriors before returning home for the last stand against Curaçao at the National Stadium in Kingston. A victory over Curaçao will seal their place irrespective of any other result in the qualifying series, meaning they can afford even a defeat against Trinidad. The Trinidad are still in with a slim chance of automatic qualification, but must win their 2 remaining games and hope that results elsewhere go in their favor. Worst case, they can remain in contention by being the second best placed team, which would see them qualifying for an intercontinental playoff spot. However, Coach Dwight Yorke is taking it a game at a time, starting with the battle against Jamaica.
And we know the significance of the Jamaican game. There is no hiding place. I've always stated that. We have the home advantage. We've got a fantastic record here, certainly under my reign. And we're looking to try and add to that. We know Jamaica is not going to be pushed over by any means. We need to be at our best. We're showing that we have closed the gap on Jamaica, despite the result of the last game. But we feel as a team, as a unit, that we can get a victory here come Thursday.
Dwight Yorke, head coach of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, President of Jamaica Olympic Association, Christopher Samuda, says he's banking on Jamaica's senior women's netball team to go all the way at the Glasgow 2026 Commonwealth Games. The Sunshine Girls will be among the world's top 12 nations set to go head-to-head next summer in one of the headline events at the Multisport Games. The Games, now in their 23rd edition, will welcome around 3,000 athletes from 74 nations and territories from July 23rd to August 2. Netball will take center stage at the city's iconic Hydro Arena from July 25th to August 2nd, promising 9 days of world-class action and electric atmosphere. The 12 confirmed teams, including Australia, England, Jamaica, New Zealand, South Africa, and host nation Scotland, were selected based on the World Netball Rankings as of September 2025. The Australian Diamonds will return as defending champions after their thrilling 55-51 win over the Sunshine Girls in Birmingham 2022. Samuda says he's optimistic that Jamaica can get to the top of the podium.
We are now at number 3. But undoubtedly, we have the reach, ball skills, and foot speed to transition to the top of the podium and to remain there. The local infrastructure of the sport has delivered an international product in the form of the Sunshine Girls. And we must now secure this pipeline of talent in maintaining the reservoir.
The Diamonds remain the most successful nation in Commonwealth Games netball history, winning 4 of their 7 trips to the final. Samuda says Glasgow 2026 promises fierce competition and unforgettable drama.
Jamaica will always occupy a position in the hierarchical form of netball, but we must now challenge to be on the world's throne and to wear the gold hardware at next year's Commonwealth Games in Glasgow.
Christopher Samuda. Now to us racing, as the Thoroughbred Owners and Breeders Association has officially confirmed that the annual Thoroughbred sale has been rescheduled to December 7th. The decision, Toba says, was made after careful consideration of the disruption caused by Hurricane Melissa, which affected several areas and key participants in the horse racing industry. According to a statement from the association, the change is in the best interest of all stakeholders, ensuring the safety and preparedness of participants, horses, and support staff. Tobas also announced that all late entry fees will be waived, allowing owners to add additional horses to the sale without penalty. Further updates regarding the new schedule and logistics will be shared in the coming weeks. Now to NBA, as All-Star Kevin Durant scored 31 points to lead the Houston Rockets to a 122-115 win over the Milwaukee Bucks in NBA action on Sunday at the Fiserv Forum. The victory was their 6th in 7 games. Also coming up big was center Alperen Sengun, who chipped in with 23 points and 11 rebounds. This included a sequence that has been making the rounds on social media, where he sends Bucks Giannis Antetokounmpo scampering on the floor trying to defend him.
Good fella. 1 for 4 there. Yep. Sengun behind the back, shakes him. Still on the dribble, loses Giannis again, pirouettes on Turner, it goes down, plus the foul! That's incredible stuff from Alperen Sengun, your center.
That is absolute money.
there from Shingun, and how sweet was that play?
Speaking after the victory, Durant says that he's enjoying life playing with an excited group of youngsters.
Yeah, that's basketball. I mean, that's the beauty of ball when everybody can contribute, feel like they're a part of the win. Everybody who played tonight feel like they played a huge part to this win. Like even Clint played the least amount of minutes, but to give us 4 and 4, a block shot or steal, sorry. And you know what I'm saying? So from the bottom to the top, I think everybody came in, contributed, and made good plays for us to win.
Kevin Durant. Now to sad NBA news, as NBA Hall of Famer Lenny Wilkens has died at the age of 88. Wilkins, a 9-time NBA All-Star from 1960 to 1975, was enshrined into a Hall of Fame in 1988. As a coach, he guided the Seattle Supersonics to their NBA title in 1979 and was inducted into the Hall of Fame as a coach in 1998. Wilkins, who retired from the NBA as a coach in 2005, held the record for most victories with 1,332 wins. Head coach of Sacramento Kings, Doug Collins, says Wilkins was an instrumental figure in his life.
79 championship, Lenny probably doesn't even know that without him I'm not here, so a lot of blessings.
Wilkins' family announced the news but did not disclose the cause of death. Those are your stories making your evening sports report. I'm Orina Buchanan.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612 to 5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
6:19.
Spring into style with Unique Living. Upgrade your home with our extensive range of products. Get sleek shower panels, stylish vanities, LED and non-LED mirrors, plus kitchen sinks, closet solutions, ceiling fans, and more. Available in various finishes and sizes. Visit shop number 630 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10. Call 876-755-3661 or visit our website at www.uniquelivingja.com. Don't wait to spring into style with Unique Living.
Attention PATH beneficiaries. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security understands that your family may have been affected by Hurricane Melissa. To ensure that no one is left behind, we have extended the October 2025 PATH payment cycle for an additional week. You may visit your payment location to collect your benefit up to November 11. If you experience difficulty due to closure of your assigned post office or payment location, please let us know. Call our Client Care Center 876-922-8013 or send us a WhatsApp message 876-582-8972. Together we'll recover, one family at a time. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security, the People's Ministry, leaving no one behind.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Good evening, and welcome to Public Opinion. I'm Robeanne Williams. A special good evening to our friends over on our YouTube platform. I miss me, I feel like I'm not here for a while. Welcome to Public Opinion. Thank you guys so much for having me. So let's talk about some serious things that are happening. In the wake of Hurricane Melissa, relief efforts are underway across the island. But so too is a wave of misinformation. Some say false information is creating confusion and distrust, while others believe it reflects a lack of clear communication from the authorities. Well, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Senator Marlon Morgan, he is describing rumors on social media as ridiculous. Yeah? The rumors are claiming that persons have to present an identification card to benefit from relief packages.
your government, the government of Jamaica, would in no way, shape or form impose a requirement on you to present your identification or anything of the sort to receive care packages, such things as hygiene products, food and water. It is just ridiculous. The government is a thinking government, and we know that many households have been displaced. People have had their homes flooded, so even though they may have secured their ID and key documents in a plastic bag and so on, some of them something they float Ghana Sea right now.
Yes, indeed. That's Parliamentary Secretary and the Minister of Education, Senator Marlon Morgan. Yeah? So there have been several videos on social media over the weekend showing persons verbally abusing government officials for mandating that only citizens with identification cards can collect food and other relief supplies. But the Labour and Social Security Ministry says the ID for food claims are plain lies. I know that the government and we here, we've been advising persons against clicking on links and those WhatsApp messages that you receive where no go so none at all. Yeah? So in public opinion this evening, we're asking, are you concerned by the level of misinformation being peddled about the government's Hurricane Melissa relief efforts? I'll start with the comments on our Facebook platform where Clifton Ricardo Russell is saying, my concern that the tone was set. You take a political turn. Okay. Clifton is saying that the tone was set from the PNP. Saw this coming, he says, from a mile away. Kurt Powell is saying, yes, but God is in our help. The government will be fine. We know the source where it's coming from and their objectives. O'Neill Dennis is saying, another political turn there. Donovan Smith saying, yes, I am. I'm definitely concerned. And the disturbing thing about it is that people choose consciously to believe the misinformation and lies over the truth. Claudille is saying, misinformation, that's a broad statement there. George Elliott saying, another political turn, saying members of the opposition see this hurricane a field day to cast all sorts of aspersions. Smiley is saying that he thinks the misinformation is politically motivated. Cleveland Richards saying to us that yes, he's concerned, but they're wasting them waste them time. Good people not paying them no mind. Let me see. Misinformation was there from the beginning of time, authored by the devil. The only difference now is those peddling it paint who they're peddling it against as the bad actor. All right, Carlington Bartley, I see you. Let me see. Valerie is saying it's a disgrace. The videos with the persons showing their faces and blatantly accusing the PM must be stopped and the perpetrators brought to justice. The PM wants the generators for himself. He got them for the people. How stupid can that be? I also saw that video, of a woman ranting about the generators that were donated and the Prime Minister saying these are her claims and allegations. The Prime Minister not giving them to the people because they were donated for the people and just loaning them. And she was saying, oh, the Prime Minister wanted to take for himself and all kind of Aston and Crawford. All right. Courtney Mack is saying it started politically, propaganda, misleading information coming from the election campaign, he says. Ian G is saying complainers are part of the problem. They contribute nothing and are the biggest contributors of chaos. If you're just joining us, we're Inside the Public Opinion. We're asking you, are you concerned by the level of misinformation being peddled about the government's Hurricane Melissa relief efforts? Jermaine Donovan on Facebook, he's saying, no, we expected this from another political turn. Let's see. Sadly, this is being done mostly by people who do not live in Jamaica, Roderick saying to us. Old, wrinkled people who run away during some past administration. Anthony Shakes is also saying it's politically motivated, this misinformation. Roderick saying it's sad. Yeah, it is sad. Anthony Shakes also saying it's politically motivated. Moffat, yes, I am, because some people don't get any critical thinking on and also don't listen to news. That is why they're easily led down a rabbit hole. The mischief makers will go the extra mile with the lies to suit their political emotions. They lie out a season and in season, and Moffat believes that they should be called out until they come out with the evidence to match their lies. Yeah? Angela is saying it needs to stop, period. The spreading of misinformation needs to stop, period. Senovia, very concerned. They spew out evil towards the government. Now the whole country in turmoil, she says. And let me see if I can get in a few here. Butch 123 is saying, I'm very concerned. The lies are believed by many, believing that it's true, especially the vulnerable Jamaicans. Are you concerned by the level of misinformation being peddled about the government's Hurricane Melissa relief efforts? Let me see if I can go to our YouTubers. Corey B is saying, not surprised, politically motivated. Dahlia saying, in my opinion, I think the government should find even one who spread dangerous misinformation and exhibit a level of disrespect towards the PM and make an example of them. Yeah? Good, great, awesome. Valentina is saying, almost 2 weeks and no one complained about being asked to show ID. One man came on a video and started it over the weekend. And she's saying he's from the West. Who am I? Say, even during the hurricane disaster. Big up yourself, who am I? Carlene Heslop, I'm definitely concerned and it's getting so annoying. And what I see too are WhatsApp messages circulating with links for people to click to get relief support. And I'm just saying, for those of you who are educated and understand these things, please protect the vulnerable among us, the elderly people who don't necessarily understand about these things, these WhatsApp messages coming in. They may think are true, as so it go. Please encourage them not to click on any links, not to respond to any numbers or so that they don't know, you know. And also the children playing on their tablets and stuff, they sometimes may too fall victim. Maybug is saying it's sad that in a time of unprecedented disaster, where our fellow Jamaicans are in need, many find time to create mischief. The dunceness is embarrassing. Cheryl is saying that she even heard the lies from people who are not Jamaicans in her office in the US, all because of social media. People on everything on social media. True. Oshoy Powell is saying, ungrateful people spreading misinformation. Alec is saying, just imagine the government get 400 generators and the Don saying the government should give them away. Imagine over 200,000 affected and the government should care only for 400. Alex says that is dunceness. The propaganda machine, Sharon is saying, very, very over concerned. It's a notorious lie. Yeah. Michael Wright listening from New Jersey. Blessings to you. The government, he says, needs more time. Let the people know you gotta give the government more time. Yeah. Let me see if I can get very concerned about the lies, says Maureen McKenzie. Scammers are on the loose. Political analysis, you hit the nail right on the head. I saw it go? Something like I saw. Yeah. Scammers, they're out in their numbers, just wanting to take further disadvantage of such a very, very traumatic experience for the people down in West. I heard also of people just forming GoFundMe pages, and I tell a lie, people going live on TikTok, you know, asking for help. And, you know, for people who really need the help, they're not getting it. Or it's being diverted elsewhere because of all these lies coming out and propaganda spreading. Scammers are the biggest worry, says Howard French. Thank you so much, Jav. Plain and simple, I think Desmond here is saying it's politically motivated. The opposition saying 50 million, stating that the government wasn't going to Westmoreland, knowing well that there was no way to get there. Yes, it's concerning, he says. Too much dunce, according to Marjorie Gordon. Too much dunce. Let me see. The aim This is coming from Donna Llewellyn. She's saying, educate yourself. The aim is political. They just can't. They are just doing it discreet. Oh, they just can't. They're just doing it to discredit the government. Okay, got you. TikTok must ban according to Marjorie G. Gordon. I don't think the TikTokers would agree with you, including myself, because it's being used as a good platform. Ricky is saying social media will be the death to the dunce in our society. And on that note, I'll end it there, but I implore you, people who have knowledge of these things, don't let your relatives, your family members fall victim to these sort of lies and misinformation and also the scam. Thank you so much for participating in Public Opinion. The Business Report is up next.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
The time by KIG is
6:33. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Robeanne Williams. China has lifted export controls on computer chips vital to car production. That's according to a statement by the country's Commerce Ministry over the weekend. It said exemptions have been granted to exports made by Chinese-owned Nexperia for civilian use, which should help car makers who had failed production in Europe would be hit. Now, at the same time, China has also paused an export ban to the U.S. of some materials that are crucial in the semiconductor industry and suspended port fees for American ships. U.S. senators are taking part in a series of votes that will work towards a deal to end the government shutdown. This could lead to a final Senate vote later tonight, but it won't end there even if it reaches the required 60 votes. Now, the House will then need to weigh in on the deal before it can be sent to President Donald Trump to sign. The 41-day shutdown, the longest ever, has left government services temporarily suspended and about 1.4 million federal employees on unpaid leave or working without pay. The shutdown has caused chaos at U.S. airports, with more than 7,000 flights delayed and 2,000 cancelled because of staffing shortages. And finally, the currency markets at the close of trading today. It cost 160 Jamaican dollars and 91 cents to buy $1 US, 209 Jamaican dollars and 9 cents to buy $1 British pound, and 114 Jamaican dollars and 74 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. That's the Business Report. I'm Robeanne Williams. Good evening.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Every school is free of unhealthy, ultra-processed products. You know, those high in salt, fats, and sugar. If only that weren't a dream. The reality is that many children have an unhealthy diet at school, and 23% of them are overweight or obese. This can lead to hypertension, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. Let's protect our children's right to health with a policy for schools that prevents unhealthy food marketing and ensures access to nutritious foods. The time is now. Let's implement the National School Nutrition Policy. A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and partners.
Attention Mega Mart Montego Bay team members. The Megamart family would like to know if you are safe and well. Please join us for an important meeting at Megamart Montego Bay on Friday, November 14, 2025 at 10 a.m. If you are a family member or friend of a Megamart Montego Bay team member, please help us in getting this message to them. Thank you and stay safe.
If it's in the public's interest, it's the nation's business during Nationwide at 5. The nation's business.
They've lost homes.
Everything is gone. Have no house, have nothing.
They've lost power.
No water, no food, no light, no bed. Jamaican people need desperate help.
Some haven't heard a familiar voice in days.
The last thing I said to my sister, please be safe. And that was the last time.
For others, hope is starting to ebb. But together, we are rebuilding Jamaica, one parish at a time.
We have to try. We have to try. Can't give up.
Join Nationwide 90 FM from November 21 to December 19, every Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. as we broadcast live from Westmoreland, St. James, Trelawney, Hanover, and St. Elizabeth, helping families and communities rebuild after Hurricane Melissa.
And you can help too.
Bring your donations, non-perishable food, water, hygiene products, lighting, or recovery supplies to our office at 14 Ocean Boulevard, the Digital Building, downtown Kingston.
Let's show the true strength of our nation: unity, compassion, and care. Together, we can rebuild lives and restore hope. Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Give us strength. Never let I fail.
How certain are you that you're taking proper care of your pets? How often do you take them to the vet? Just as we need annual checkups with our doctors, most pets need regular checkups too. Owning and caring for a family pet doesn't have to be a difficult or burdensome experience. Nationwide 90 FM has an exciting feature called Pets World that will help you take better care of your pets. Join Nationwide 90 FM every Wednesday at 6:50 a.m. during the program This Morning as we take you into the do's and don'ts of caring for your pets. That's Pets World every Wednesday at 6:50 a.m. during the program This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Good evening. It's 20 minutes going up to 7 o'clock. You're inside the nation's business. I'm Cliff Hughes.
I'm Sondre Roden. And right now we're looking at the aftermath of Melissa, the cleanup effort. Hurricane Melissa left nearly 5 million tons of debris in its wake. That's according to satellite-based analysis done by the United Nations Development Program, UNDP.
The analysis shows 2.1 million tons of building debris, 1.3 million tons of vegetation, and 1.4 million tons of debris from wrecked personal property. The organization cautioned that these figures are preliminary and will likely rise as field assessments continue.
UNDP says the debris left by Melissa has slowed the delivery of relief supplies and delayed the restoration of essential services to thousands of affected residents. Tens of thousands of homes have been damaged, with St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland among the hardest hit parishes.
The UNDP says the devastation wrought by Melissa underscores the growing threat posed by climate change, which continues to intensify the frequency and severity of natural disasters. For an update on the cleanup efforts being made, we are joined by the Executive Director of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, Audley Gordon. Good evening, Mr. Gordon.
Good evening, Cliff, your co-host and the listeners.
Good evening to you, Audley.
So tell me, we hear from the UNDP 5 million tons of debris left by Miss Melissa. Do you have any way of measuring for your own purposes?
Well, empirically, no, because we don't have landfills that are equipped with scales going in and scales going out. So we rely on those technical details that you get from elsewhere. But just on the ground, if what we see, we have no quarrel with the figure being banding about, because there's a lot. Believe me, it's a lot. If you're not careful, it could scare you, and you just feel like it's impossible. But what we have tried to do at the NSWMA is not to so much focus on the enormity of the task, but just make sure we do a good day's work every day. And so that is exactly what we are doing, starting from the moment Melissa left our shores. We are out, and we are just chipping away at it, road by road, and you know, and we will get there. But it's a patience game. We now have engaged on contract close to 80 additional trucks and that's tipper trucks, and we are looking more as we go day by day. We're just trying to add more because it's going to take a lot. It will be a lot of cleanup effort. We are running into other issues too, because our disposal facility can't, in their current state, take everything that we have like at once. So we will have to be using temporary storage arrangements, which we are putting in place. We have put 2 in place already, and we are looking to put more in place, because we have to move the debris out of the space so that people can begin to feel that they can start again, they can live again, they can, have a home again. So there's no if, but, or maybe. We have to work assiduously and for long hours to get them to that place. And boy, we want to get them there.
I know you said, Audley Gordon, that you don't have empirical data in terms of tonnage, but I wanted to understand what the status of the cleanup is like. Do you have data as it relates to communities, parishes, percentages? What could you say to the nation now in terms of the effort?
So I could pick 2 spots and just give you something, and then you can be guided. The Black River Hospital, just the front area and the parking lot, we remove close to 100 loads from there.
Truckloads.
Yes, big tipper truckloads. And we have not completed it yet. We're talking to the leadership of the health department today in that side, and they're asking us if we could just go across the road where there's a health center and tackle that. Then we come back and do the back area, and this is trucks rolling in minutely. Cliff, I must say something here.
No, hold on. Before you go any further, that solid waste, 100 truckloads, consists primarily of what? Solid waste material.
All building material, all whatever you find around a hospital compound, that anything you can think of, all solid, bowl, everything.
So construction material.
Yes, construction debris, tree branch that blew over the hospital at the time, things that came off the sea, out of the water. What we could do, if it's needed, we could look and do what you call a characterization of the garbage for the public. But that wasn't a priority for us. No. Our priority now is to move garbage, move it, and just get the place through up that we can think. But if we would have done much more, even with all the difficulties, would have been doing far better if we didn't have the kind of traffic nightmare and pedestrian. There's a lot of curiosity in the air now, and we have I can understand the curiosity, and far be it from me to tell a person not to come down and take a picture or a video or something, but believe me, to roll the big trucks and the equipment around in between all of that is very difficult.
You were about to say something when I stopped you for a moment. Do you recall what it was?
No, that's what point I wanted to make. Notwithstanding the fact that we are moving the garbage, we could have been doing a much better. I wanted to make the point and to say that the people who come in to do assistance, give assistance,
the citizens giving relief then.
Yes, and so on, and they're doing a little video into.
So
I think if they could be a little more brisk. I don't want to take them on at all.
Yeah, but on that point though, Alder Gordon, I wanted to ask you, and I think a lot of persons have this question as well, which parishes or areas do you have the most difficulty in getting those trucks in and out? Because I know you mentioned the Black River Hospital, but persons in Hanover, Westmoreland, they have similar concerns as it relates to just the pace at which we're seeing solid waste removal in some spaces.
All right, so let me take you back before we go forward real quick. The first 3 or 4 days after the hurricane, we were hampered by a communication challenge that I've never seen in Jamaica before. First of all, you have the trucks pre-positioned, some of them, and some heavy-duty equipment. Every one of your drivers were told, look, now stay near to your phone because we're going to be ready for you at a moment's notice. But then you couldn't call anybody, and nobody couldn't call you either. So we had that delay inflicted on us by circumstances beyond our control. Coupled with that, we have several staff that were severely affected too. Some of them were drivers and sanitation workers that we need to work. I'm talking about, when I say affected, I'm not talking about them probably just like the water coming under our window. I'm talking about losing roof. I'm talking about losing all their belongings and so on. So that also pushes back a little too, because then you have to have the workmen before you can go and do the work.
Yeah.
So look, this is big, and this is not something that you prepare for adequately, because who could prepare for this massive breakdown of communication that we had?
So how is that now? Almost 2 weeks after the communications.
That is good. There is some person, I don't know if it's a genius or what, that came up with this Starlink technology, which is widely used now. And so we have equipped all our facilities with that now. We even put some in some of the vehicles. My own vehicle here is equipped with Starlink now. And so what we are doing, we are finding that a lot of people out in even rural Jamaica are using that particular communication mode. So we are significantly better now, and we are pushing far more now. I said earlier I would give you 2 communities. I just told you about one place, the Black River. But let's go over now to Montego Bay, St. James, where they have this massive flooding caused by the overflow in a Song River there that inundated 2 communities. One is the Catherine Hall, and the one is the Green, whatever it is.
West Green.
West Green, right. Over 800 houses, everyone filled with dirt and water, muddy water and gravel and all sorts of things that you could think of that the river carried on. That were deposited in the people, covering the furniture, covering cars, just one mess, real mess. So far, we have moved close to 650 loads.
That's the same truckloads, right?
Yes, truckloads. We haven't gotten today's numbers yet, but I can tell you, all those trucks are carrying is furniture, settee, divan, mattresses, tables, chairs. That's people's living, that's what people live. Those people's homes that are destroyed like that. And we are moving those at the pace that we told you. And we still have probably about 2 weeks of work, solid work, to move things in there. So we are there as we speak, because we get construction light and they work deep into the night. I'll be passing by there tomorrow en route to Westmoreland. We are in touch with the members of Parliament. We're in touch with Ian Hill and Mr. Campbell Dayton, and we'll be going into that parish with wood chippers. And because there's no point just packing up the old trees and the old boards and so on a truck and take them 50 miles to Montego Bay to dispose of them. I have to go there and try and locate a space that I can temporarily dispose of those stuff. But because those will break down, we're going to get the wood chippers in there to begin to chip them up. So it becomes little fine, literally dust when we are through with it. And then, even if we have to move it, one tipper load now would be equivalent to 5 tipper loads or 6 if we didn't chip it up like that.
So you put in some strategies in place. That leads me to my question of prioritization. Do you have a strategy for where is prioritized first in a parish as it relates to accessibility, etc.?
Well, that was our buzzword right after Melissa left. And we have a term we call debris management, and we moved in the minutes after Melissa left our shores. We were out doing that, cutting trees, moving them out of the way, cutting all light poles that drop in the road and everything, and to get access. But most of the access created then was basically single lane, just to ensure that we can get, to people. Now we are into the other phase now, where we're going to be trying to get all this stuff out the road, in the road, because you're right, accessibility is critical. If you're going to get the service to the people, if you're going to get the help to the people, if people want to go and look help, they need to be able to move about. So the two things was the accessibility, but the communication is another one, because people are depressed now. People get so glued to their phones, and to not being able to use your phone for 2 weeks, I can know that it's torture. Some people are being tortured right now, I must say. But, everything will happen over time. And so I keep urging with patience. I know people have been very patient. I just urge them to just hold on a little bit longer, because we are coming.
On that point, though, I'm heading over to my YouTube chat here, Cliff, where I'm seeing a YouTuber, Dave Patterson, is saying that 5 weeks now he hasn't seen any garbage trucks in Portmore. Is there an impact? The question I have for you is there an impact on the relief efforts and the availability for trucks on normal routes in places like in the eastern parishes in particular?
All right, so to be specific, we are in Portmore doing work. No, we are behind there. And we are behind in most of Jamaica right now. We are behind. And I won't spin that because I'm not a spinner. We are behind, and we are behind for a number of reasons. We didn't come into the hurricane with a good record. We were behind coming into the hurricane. Now, the hurricane take away from us in total about 8 days. Because about 4 days before the hurricane, we have to resort to what we call the pre-Melissa cleanup. This is where we target mainly mini dumps and loose garbage and roadways. Because we know that the roadways become river, the garbage, the breeze is blowing the garbage all over the place, it floats in the river, it clogs your drain, it causes flooding, it causes lots of life damage to property, etc., etc. So the focus was on that. And the problematic areas that are prone to flooding, we know them right across Jamaica, that as the rain starts to fall, they flood. So we shift our focus as a duty to country towards those. That would have pushed our collection in the communities behind also. Now, we stopped for 1 day because it was dangerous for the crew as the hurricane passes. So we had to stop for a day. So we're gone 5 days. And then just after the hurricane, our first priority was to do the debris management, which is to go back on the same main road to get them clear, etc., etc. So we are really running about have about an 8-day gap. An 8-day gap in collection. And if you throw that in to the fact that we weren't ahead, we had an operation going to try to clear backlogs when the hurricane news started to reach us. So it is kind of like a double whammy. We're behind and trying to catch up, and then the hurricane came and distracted us. But we are now back out. In some regions, we are back to full strength in terms of our staff complement and so on. Like in the WPM region, which concerns the areas like Westmoreland, Hanover, Trelawney, St. James, we don't have the full complement of staff up to now because the conditions that they live in now and so on, some of them trying to get even close to come to work. But we are still working there, and we are still pushing hard, and we are still out there. In addition to being the chief garbage collector, I'm also the chief motivator. I assign myself that role. No extra pay, but I have to do that with the staff because they are suffering too, and I'm asking them to come to work. I have to be also there as a counselor because a lot of people are taking a mental hit by this thing.
And what of the threat to your staff? They're out there at some ungodly hours. We hear the reports of some acts of criminality. What about the security threat to your staff?
Well, thank God so far, Cliff. We are met warmly. People have so much garbage. They're glad to see a truck show up now. I don't think we will be targeted at all. We will get the news of that, but we are not seeing that.
Oh, good for you. Yes. And tell me, in terms of the national program that the Ministry of Local Government is coming with, what role will you be playing as the NSWMA?
We will be definitely playing a role. Cliff, I know the minister will speak far more on that one. Right now, I'm just have my head down doing debris management still. We still have areas that we need to finish clearing, and we still have people's house under mud and rubble, and we still have too much people out there who, as we speak, are seeing huge delay in their garbage collection. So I'll stay right where I'm at right now and wait until the relevant announcements come to me, or letters and so on. But the minister will speak far more on that. But I'm sure a national cleanup will see us featured in it, absolutely.
And for homeowners whose properties have been hit by Melissa and they have fallen trees, fallen branches, what do they do? What's the best advice to them?
All right, so in our debris management cleanup program, we were going around and taking up everything that's on the roadway, but it's not normally our duty. We are not budgeted for it. So the duty of the homeowner when you cut trees is always to make the arrangement to have it move responsibly to a disposal site. Or you engage with your neighbor or any group you want to partner with to do composting. I really have to put a plug in that the waste management in Jamaica have to take a turn for the better with some more responsibility at source. Composting is not hard to do, and we are prepared to come and help you to show you how it's done. Also, I know RADA and SPC will partner in that, because we have partnered in communities before, and we want to see less of those kind of stuff that can be broken down into good soil nutrients being loaded onto a truck, causing the taxpayers so much to take them to a disposal site.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And private contractors, community groups, volunteers, how can they offer?
All are welcome. We have several private contractors that we have engaged. As I said to you, we have overnight close to last check was 80. Also tipper trucks that we have engaged to help in the cleanup exercise. We're still looking for more. Residents can help us by properly containerizing their garbage at this time, doubly bag and so on, because the truck will definitely not reach you as early as it does normally reach you. We have some challenges. We are working through it. It will take us a while to get back on top of our game. But, compared to the challenges that some people have in other parts of the country, right now, I think this is the least we can do to just properly containerize our garbage and just add a little more patience. I know you have been very patient, but I'm begging you for a little bit more.
Audley Gordon, the Executive Director of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, the NSWMA. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Good. This is Nationwide at 5. After the break, the BBC, Donald Trump and resignations.
The Pink Run, a corporate wellness challenge, encourages physical activity, healthy eating, and age-appropriate health checks. Remember, early detection saves lives. The time by the Ministry of Health and Wellness is...
It's 7 o'clock.
Hi, I'm Lori Gale from Oasis, advising of a change in our program focus, November 5 to 18. We do a shift from reading the Word to living out the Word. Host Roland Gale will speak with heads of churches regarding their intervention in getting our lives back on track following Hurricane Melissa. Be sure to join Roland and his guests on Oasis beginning Wednesday, November 5, 12:55 p.m. with a repeat at 5:45 a.m. only on Nationwide, the new revolution in media. Let's all be praying for our nation.
It's 2 minutes after 7 and we're still with you nationwide at 5. We're changing gears as we look at the BBC. The head resigns. US President Donald Trump has threatened legal action against the BBC over the way a speech he made was edited in a documentary aired by Britain's national broadcaster. BBC Chairman Samir Shah on Monday apologized for the error of judgment.
It triggered the resignations of the BBC's top executive and its head of news. Director General Tim Davie and the news chief Deborah Turness quit Sunday over accusations of bias in editing a speech Trump delivered on January 6, 2021.
The edit put 2 parts of Trump's speech together, so he appeared to explicitly encourage the Capitol Hill riots. A letter from Trump's attorney demands the BBC retract the statements by November 14th or face legal action for $1 billion in damages.
The BBC says it would review the letter and respond directly in due course. Here's more in this report from Sky News.
Resignations, rumours of a coup, and now a looming legal threat. If things weren't bad enough at New Broadcasting House following the resignation of Director General Tim Davie and his news CEO Deborah Turness,
we're going to walk down and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down.
Cue confirmation that US President Donald Trump is so enraged by how his speech was doctored in this episode of Panorama, he's now threatening to sue. This, a copy of the letter sent on his behalf, the last line of which saying, if the BBC doesn't retract the programme and apologise by November the 14th at 5 p.m, President Trump will be left with no alternative but to enforce his legal and equitable rights by filing legal action for no less than $1 billion in damages. The BBC, it says, is on notice. Today, a written apology to MPs from the chair, Samir Shah, one of the last men standing, as he spoke to his own news channel about what went wrong.
The apologising is for the way the team edited President Trump's speech to his supporters on January the 6th.
The chain of events which has upended things within the BBC was triggered by a memo from Michael Prescott, a former external advisor to the BBC's Editorial Standards Committee, raising concerns about institutional bias over Gaza, gender identity and immigration issues.
All these stories and issues that Mr. Prescott raises have been considered at the committee. In fact, indeed, that's how he knows about them, because he's a member of the advisory. So I don't think it's fair to characterise it as some kind of uncovering. Secondly, there's also an impression given that we've listened to these concerns and we've done nothing. And that is also not an accurate representation of both what Mr. Prescott says and what the BBC has done.
We heard nothing from the Director General and his news CEO in the days after the memo went to press. And while there was no sign of Davie in his office, Turness entered by the front door saying this.
I would like to say it has been the privilege of my career to serve as the CEO of BBC News and to work with our brilliant team of journalists. I stepped down over the weekend because the buck stops with me. But I'd like to make one thing very clear. BBC News is not institutionally biased. That's why it's the world's most trusted news provider.
So what exactly has been going on inside of New Broadcasting House? Sky News understands that Deborah Turness had wanted to get a statement out early last week, but was blocked by the BBC board, which was arguing over the wording. Now, some of the BBC's own journalists have gone on the record to say what we're actually seeing play out now goes back much further than the last week, with claims that within the BBC there are those who have systematically set out to undermine Tim Davie and his senior leadership for a long time now, a coup being the implication from within the BBC board. Former senior insiders say the corporation's problems extend beyond the boardroom.
I think we're now seeing that there was, of course, the leaks to the Telegraph and some of the campaigning inside the BBC probably does have a degree of political motivation. But then equally, we know this year that Lisa Nandy, the Labour Culture Secretary, seemed at one point to be trying to get Tim Davie fired. And the fact is the BBC always has these political cross currents and it's got to withstand them.
a national broadcaster without a leader and facing $1 billion threat. Sounding like a plot from one of its dramas, a very real problem the BBC now faces. Katie Spencer, Sky News.
A real problem indeed for the mother of broadcasting across the world, frankly.
Indeed. You know, I saw it on social media, Cliff. I saw a video, and, you know, the comments on Twitter are very vile. And, you know, they're the defenders of Trump, and they were out and ready for their own campaign against the BBC. But it was very alarming when I started to do more research, and you saw the clippings and what he said, what he actually said, how they put it together, and then, you know, hearing about the bias inside the BBC. It's very alarming for, you know, persons who are in the media, persons who actually take a lot of stories from BBC as well. Now the question around traditional media becomes a very loud one, a very potent one, because if this is what happened inside the BBC, you know, you question where else.
Exactly, because the BBC is the standard through which all of us are judged. Yes, BBC, without doubt, even with this blow to the BBC, it is still the most credible and influential international broadcaster in the world. Yes, barring none. Yeah. Secondly, what happened in that documentary was just simply unprofessional.
Yeah.
Unethical. You are taught that from day one in journalism school, broadcasting school. You don't do that. You don't splice edit, from two separate source materials to give the impression that that is what was said and intended. Yeah, you just don't do that. It's cheating. It's lying. Yeah. What surprised me about this is the fact that the BBC was not out early in recognizing that it had committed a wrong and owning it and apologizing for it. Yeah, the fact that it took so long, and then it took the campaign of the Daily Telegraph newspaper. And if you know the Telegraph is one of Britain's most conservative, right-wing broadsheets. Yes, it is of the right.
Yeah.
So it is no friend of the BBC. Yeah.
So, you know, well, as they said in the report, you know, leaks had to have happened.
Yes. But it's and this story comes at a time when media all over the world, broadcasters, traditional media, are under siege. Under siege from those would-be journalists, bloggers. I'm talking about social media, where we all lament the rise of disinformation. We see a proliferation now of calculated, deliberate misinformation. And for the BBC to be caught doing this is a really hard blow to those of us in traditional broadcasting who know that you just don't do that.
Yeah.
You just don't. Yeah. So it couldn't have come at a worse time for the BBC. Its royal charter, is up for review in a year when there'll be a fierce debate in the United Kingdom whether it should be, it should continue to get the taxpayers' money, without greater controls by the taxpayer or the political directorate, But in all of this, I don't know what is going to become of the BBC. If I were to hazard a guess, the license fee is going to come under pressure. I don't think that is sustainable, given the polarization not only in the United Kingdom,
but across the world.
Yeah. And then the other thing in all of this, this story would not have taken on the legs it has if it were not for the occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
But, you know, Cliff, I'm not surprised because this is not President Trump's first rodeo as it relates to suing a media house.
Yeah.
And you know, when President Trump
it seems as if it's a new business line for him.
Yeah, because he's winning cases, but then that also says to you, you know, what is happening? Is the diatribe and the hate for Trump so strong that persons part with their integrity
and
in
professionalism.
media and professionalism, so that they go on these campaigns, these snide campaigns against him, and once it's picked up, he's calling his lawyers and they're getting on it, and he's sending out a fat lawsuit.
Yeah it is turmoil it is.
Yeah
All right, it's 12 minutes after 7. This is Nationwide at 5. We're going to go to the Watchman, and then after the Watchman, it will be your feedback. Time for your calls. The numbers to call us, 876-630-937124 or 876-618-6730.
Jamaica's poverty rate has dropped from 16.7% to 8.2%. As the government's economic program begins to pay off, our country is heading towards sustained growth. We are building Jamaica. The time by the office of the Prime Minister is...
It's 7:13.
Attention Megamart Montego Bay team members. The Megamart family would like to know if you are safe and well. Please join us for an important meeting at Megamart Montego Bay on Friday, November 14, 2025 at 10 a.m. If you are a family member or friend of a Megamart Montego Bay team member, please help us in getting this message to them. Thank you and stay safe.
The Watchman. Exploring issues shaping our society, government, and business. Provocative, unconventional. Dr. Henley Morgan is The Watchman.
Good evening. Jamaica's troubling population growth rate and the wealth of the nation. Results from the embarrassingly delayed and all but forgotten 2022 population and housing census by the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, STATIN, have started to trickle to the public. During its quarterly press briefing held October 15, 2025, STATIN released some preliminary numbers which point to a troubling trend in Jamaica's population growth rate. Between the last census in 2011 and the current one, for which data collection started 2022, the population grew marginally, adding 76,555 in head count over the 11-year period to reach 2.8 million people. The Director of Censuses, Demographic and Social Statistics at STATIN, Ms. Stacey-Ann Robinson, said the equivalent annual growth rate of 0.24% for the latest census was the lowest over the last 5 decades. An annual population growth rate of between 0.5 and 1.5% is generally considered to be the rate at which a country of Jamaica's size and resources can achieve reasonable economic as well as environmental sustainability. Given the declining birth rate, the increasing death rate, and increasing migration, Jamaica's population growth rate has slipped below replacement level and is, in fact, forecasted to steadily decline over the next 5 years. With median age at about 33 years currently, youth demographic 0 to 14 years shrinking to about 20%, and the elderly population, 65 years old plus, at 7 to 9% and growing the fastest, it is likely that in the years ahead, Jamaica will experience serious reduction in the working age population from the current 70%. The following gives a measure of the magnitude of the human resource gap facing the country. In a front page story in its May 8, 2025 edition titled Baby Shortage, the Gleaner reported the manager of the delivery ward at Victoria Jubilee Hospital, the country's largest maternity facility, saying deliveries, which used to average about 500 per month, have declined to around 300 per month. That's a reduction of 40%. The situation is exacerbated by Jamaica's low investment in human and social capital, which renders much of the working population employable only in menial, low productivity jobs. Already there are howls coming from some large employers for the government to import better trained, more productive workers, without which the country's goods and services will remain lacking in complexity, low in value added, and uncompetitive, with resulting low standard of living. Jamaica is caught between the proverbial rock and a hard place. Too many mouths to feed. At the same time, there are too few hands and even fewer brains to do wealth-creating work. Think on these things.
Produced by Agency for Inner City Renewal, AIR, and recorded in the Jamming Studio Trenchtown, a breath of fresh air bringing change to the inner city.
They've lost homes.
Everything is gone. Have no house, have nothing.
They've lost power.
No water, no food, no light, no bed. Jamaican people need desperate help.
Some haven't heard a familiar voice in days.
The last thing I said to my sister, please be safe. And that was the last time.
For others, hope is starting to ebb.
Nationwide,
but together, we are rebuilding Jamaica, one parish at a time.
We have to try. We have to try. Can't give up.
Join Nationwide 90 FM from November 21 to December 19, every Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. as we broadcast live from Westmoreland, St. James, Trelawney, Hanover, and St. Elizabeth, helping families and communities rebuild after Hurricane Melissa.
And you can help too.
Bring your donations, non-perishable food, water, hygiene products, lighting, or recovery supplies to our office at 14 Ocean Boulevard, the Digital Building, downtown Kingston.
Let's show the true strength of our nation: unity, compassion, and care. Together, we can rebuild lives and restore hope. Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Give us strength. Never let I fail.
Okay, thank you so much for staying with us here nationwide at 5. I'm Cliff Hughes.
I'm Sandra Roden.
It's 20 minutes after 7 o'clock. We're going to take your calls now. The numbers to call us, 876-630-937124, 876-618-6730. Our first call of the evening, Faithful.
Good evening, Mr. Roden, and good evening, Cliff.
Good evening to you.
I will speak to two things pertaining to your last item. Mr. Trump, I think Mr. Trump in himself is a case management by himself for studying.
Yes, certainly. Certainly.
Why is it that Faithful?
Good. I think before he became president the last time around, even when he was president before he left office, he gave a guarantee that he could go to man and shoot a man is dead and kill a man, nothing come of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. After he left White House, they sued him. He went to court. He lost the case, and there was several lawsuits against him. I thought any of those persons receive any money from him since he became president. He sued CBS, get money. He sued ABC, get money. His cars came out to come off the radio. I seem like everything. It seems like everything he does go his way. He's just winning in everything. And to my mind, I'm wondering, he's somebody above the rest. Mr. Trump is a president like any other. I think Mr. Trump is the most powerful president ever really in America. In my mind, the Senate passed the bill that he wanted to pass against the wish of the Democrat. But if he find a way to get things done, whether it seems likely that it's the right thing to do, he just find a way to get things done. And you have to give him credit for the deal that is struck in with Israel and the Gaza Strip. Because I believe he have a great hand in it. And he go to Israel and he speak in the parliament and he speak of the heritage of Abraham Lincoln and how it was ordained to be done. There's so many things to say about this man is unbecoming. And with the BBC, I agree to 100%. It is widely accepted that the BBC one can say the most credible news organization in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But in reporting, BBC reporting, is definitely they have a left leaning.
Mm-hmm.
Because even reporting in the war between Israel and the Gaza, one is definitely know that he was not reporting favorable on the Israeli side. It was more of a left leaning, and it's, as you said, the Guardian is from the right, and the pastor that the BBC take. If you read along the line and if you see a candidate to their reporting, you know exactly where they stand.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no wonder that Trump is trying to sue for $1 billion. And as the lady said, they are reviewing it. But I in my mind, they got to find a way to make Trump win. Because Trump not winning, it's just not going down.
Well, the American people and a very compliant Congress dominated by his Republican poodles, have allowed him to dominate, and make a mockery of the separation of powers system in the American governmental structure, and it's the American people who will have to rein him in.
Yes, but what up to the Senate last night when they voted giving its wish, even I think is against the wish of the American people in the sense that there are so many millions of Americans whose health care is gonna go based on what is after Obamacare for the longest while.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But somehow they find a way to backfire and to let Trump win at all time.
Exactly, and I'm saying, I think, from where I sit, the American people are the ones with the power to rein him in. You saw what happened on last week, Tuesday night. Yes?
Yes.
He lost in every contested race, including red states such as Mississippi, Georgia, a purple state. And I believe that come next year during the midterms, if he has a repeat of what took place last week, Tuesday night, he'll become a very lame president, lame duck president. Because, politics, faithful, has a way of the dynamics, the flow, the ebb and flow turns.
Yes.
And when those poodles who have been deballed realize that, listen, his potency is gone, is waning, then you're going to find that some of them will rediscover their testicles.
Yeah, but not only Republicans, even some Democrats. For the life of me, I don't think the Democrats should accede to what Trump wanted last night in voting with the vote they did in the Senate. I don't think that should have happened. But Trump always find a way to make it happen, and I think in the long run now, the American people gonna be worse off. But that's just my view. American people are gonna be worse off for it. I think even the Supreme Court, if it was a normal president, some of the ruling that they would not have handed down if it was a normal president.
Well, if it was a normal Supreme Court.
Precisely.
Right. well. Because out of the 9 Supreme Court, and he by himself only have 3 of them there.
Yes.
That he voted in.
And the balance of power in terms of the liberal and conservative wings of the court is what, 6-3 now?
6-3.
Yes.
And so you could say he control the court, he control the House, he control the Senate and the White House.
And those are your checks and balances.
Yes.
He's in control of.
That's why I said I think from the time that America instituted, I think it's the most powerful president ever run America. Because he allowed to have his way. He allowed to have his way almost all time.
Well, Faithful, I think you're onto something. I can't think of a more recent president who has exercised more power.
Exactly.
And bullied.
Yes, bullying. That's what I'm saying. And get his way in everything.
Yes.
Yeah. Because even for this term, when the question was, would he still have the GOP? He got them under control.
Exactly.
He got them under control, yeah.
If you speak of yours, no, in my mind, no, me just not the speaker was. I'm not sure that he wanted to say, but you have to compare with what Trump said. That is the bottom line,
Yes.
Anyway, I don't waste most of the time.
No, man, it's not wasting time. Thank you very much for the contribution, Faithful.
You're most welcome, sir.
Very insightful.
Blessed.
Good. 28 minutes after 7.
Bobby, good evening.
Yes, good evening, Sir Cliff. Good evening, Sandra.
Good evening, Bobby.
Cliff, you are a visionary. It seems like God had spoke to you one night until to open a station like this. Trust me, it is only Nationwide and NCU FM are the 2 forthright stations in this country. Only these 2 stations bring balance, news to the people. Reason for saying this, this morning I was listening to George and Turner, and I'm George for the great contribution that he make this morning. About these false innuendos and lies. These bloggers.
Why, Bobby, your phone busy, man. Your phone busy. They say them calling you.
Yeah, man. So that some of these bloggers are making on social media and so on. Especially that man, who Georgia to play the clip this morning. There's no time the government had said to the people down in the western side of the country that they have to bring identification to get care package. They weren't listening.
Yes.
It is people whose property has been damaged and they are making claims on those property. They are asking for some form of identification to verify if that person really owns that home. It was last week, a principal, a vice principal and the both of us clash. And I'm sorry for our nation children. I hear that man has been telling a lot of lies and false innuendo on the Prime Minister. One of the things I hear him talk about is that he listened to a certain station. I won't call the name of the station. And he hear on the station that the Prime Minister denied the leader of the opposition helicopter ride to go down in the western side of the country. And I said to him, nothing of that sort. Because, the MP over there in St. Thomas spoke to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister said he don't know anything about that. But yet still, we saw, and I think it was a Burgundy helicopter that take Mark Golding down there. Right? And I tell you, some of these people, they just go around with lies and false innuendos, and they would do everything.
But we should recognize, Bobby, that some people have turned the business of misleading and proliferation of lies for as an economic pursuit. They're being paid. It's not that they don't know that they're peddling lies, but they are being paid to push it. Yes? And they are benefiting financially. And they don't matter who is hurt in the process. They don't matter because they're earning for their pockets. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. You see, and one final thing I want to say before I leave is that, you see, even that same vice principal, hear what he's saying to me, is that the relief committee that the government formed, he's saying that, okay, Desmond Mackenzie is on it. The opposition person should be on it. Colonel Charles Jr. is on it. The opposition spokesperson is on it. I had to educate that man, although he has is a PhD and thing, and I only have my degree. I have to turn to him and say, look here, boss, hear me now. Technical staff in those ministries are on the committee. You cannot have two set of people there trying to run this thing. You will have division. And the government interested in feeding the people and get the people back on their feet.
Some people have not gotten it yet. That listen, we went to the polls on September 3.
Exactly, Cliff.
And we had a victor and we had a loser.
Exactly.
Some people don't understand that.
Yes, yeah? Yes, okay then. You're
all right, Bobby. Take care.
All right, respect, Bobby.
Good.
Cherie, good evening to you.
Howard.
I am good.
Okay, great. First speaking with you.
Sandra is my co-host, Cherie.
Oh, I got away. I ran ahead of myself. I'm so elated at this time. Hi, Sanjay. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. You?
I'm doing very well, Very well.
You sound like you're doing well.
Yeah, I have to be, because when you think of what is happening in the West, trust me, we are blessed, and God really saved half of us to help the other half, and He always promises to have witnesses for everything, right? So we are the witnesses to what's happening. But my call tonight is in relation to the caller before the last one, and I was listening to him, and I said, oh, what is happening with this person is that I've recently watched House of Cards. And trust me, when I watched it, I see everything that's happening in the U.S. presidency. I see Mr. T-Rump and everything playing out. It's just like...
What did you say just now?
What did you call the man? Mr.
T-Rump.
Oh, dear.
I see everything that he's doing playing out in that House of Cards. Have you watched it?
I have. I've watched it. I haven't watched it to the end.
Series. Trust me.
I've watched it, but not to the end.
Everybody owe him one. He puts himself in such a position that everybody owes him one, and that's what he does. That guy studies. He reminds me of the mayor, a particular mayor who caused me to understand what mayorship is. He was a very effective mayor. And apparently he read Town and Communities Act, and trust me, he brought the office alive. He was very effective. I'm talking about Mr. Mackenzie, very effective mayor. And so this guy studies the book. Mr. T-Rump studies the book. Remember, his father was into real estate, and he was really groomed. And they know them live a courthouse. He's accustomed to the 11 steps.
Yes.
And he's very street smart.
Yes.
So don't underestimate him. He's very street smart, and he knows he may not be academically inclined, but don't underestimate a street smart guy.
And he has an ability to read the room.
He does that very well.
Yes.
He's very street smart.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Street smart.
that's
He knew what was happening in the American society. Yeah?
Yes.
He knew what was happening in rural America.
Barely up, and he knows
And he
every
tapped
gray
into
area.
it. Yes.
He knows every gray area, and that's what he's doing with
Mhm.
all the gray areas.
Yes. He knew
Know it.
that some of the worst instincts and underbelly
Oh, yeah.
of American society. And
Oh,
he
yeah.
tapped into it. Yeah?
And he knows
played
that
into their
can't
fears.
Win him on that.
Mm-hmm.
And when he said that he can walk into Manhattan and kill somebody and get away with it, he can.
When I heard that statement that day, I thought, okay, he's finished now. Yeah? But he knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing.
knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knew. This
Yeah.
guy was groomed. His father was there. Them know everything. They're into real estate, so them happy have street smartness about them, if there's ever such a word.
But you know, I am of the view that every political current, yeah, there comes a time when it comes to an end. Yeah, it will have to run its course.
Yes.
And I think that time is coming where that
will.
Trump current is going to run its course.
It will.
Yeah.
But it's the number of persons that he'll hurt along the way.
In the process, yes.
Yes. That's it. The number of persons that will be hurt.
Yeah.
But his time is coming
And whether
to an end.
and whether he will be able, yeah, to survive the backlash.
Look here, that's the point I was about to make. I'm clapping mosquitoes. That's the point I was about to make. At his age, he's going to be in a win-win situation, because when him don't mess up the world, it's just time for him to die. Time for him to die. So he will not live in the messed up world. He will not, and that makes him puts him in a win-win situation. But then we have children, eh? The Bible speaks about the sins of the parents.
Yes.
The sins, and that's a part of the Bible, Cliff, that I don't necessarily like, because my sin's supposed to be there to punish me, not my poor child.
Yeah.
Doesn't there? I don't agree with that. But then it teaches me, it keeps me on my toes to do good, because I'd like to know that my child prospers when I'm gone.
Yeah.
So for my child's sake, I keep doing good.
Yeah.
Because if my sin was to be there to punish me, oh, please.
Yeah. Wow.
I live free.
All right,
I
man.
live free. But don't underestimate this guy. This guy knows everything about the underbelly of the society he lives in.
Yep. Yes.
He's very smart.
Anybody who can win 2 presidential elections coming after a loss, coming after all that he has gone through, he has enormous political ability.
I'm not so sure if he won't win a third one, you know.
I thought you were going to go there. Well, let's see what happens in the midterms.
He's going to challenge everything, every logic. He's not going to lick it down. Yeah, man.
Or if it's not him,
well
if it's not him, it could be one of his children.
I don't think the children will be as witty. No.
Okay.
The society won't allow it.
I don't think Trump is witty, though. Trump is just a bulldozer.
Yes.
He's a face value. He's a face value person, man.
Yeah.
He's bully.
Yeah. Thank you very much for calling us, ma'am. We appreciate it. Okay, take care. 20 minutes going up to 8 o'clock. We're taking your calls.
Charlie.
Hey, good night, Chris.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Blessed man and evening, the first day. How you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Could be more correct, but, institution may practice even unexpected,
Yes? Where you calling me from?
I'm calling from Kingston, sir.
Oh, you sound like you're in Timbuktu.
Probably in spirit. Yeah. May I say, like, you have an investigative order, right? Investigative order 114 9628630 -2867426. It's a custom investigative order number regarding to like it should be only question for IB and TRN only in a general institution.
What are you talking about? You have Sandra and myself confused. What are you talking about?
This morning I heard King George from the radio. Him I say people were asking to show identification to receive material.
Yes.
And me I say in them circumstances there where people are flooded. I don't know if a misdemeanor are alleged or just people, making practice of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But may I say, if such activity takes place, it should be none and void, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because in our crisis, the Jamaica is in a SOS crisis,
Yes.
Because even Spain decided to make contribution for Malaysia disaster.
Mm-hmm.
And I also heard England making an open remarks of £100 million.
They've gone up to £7.5 million now, the Brits are committing.
Which they're more likely gonna place it within the category of reparation fund, where they probably are going to put it, make it run concurrent. So if the opposition are like overviewing the Prime Minister, which they are supposed to overview the Prime Minister, them shouldn't be behind the game. Them should have been on top of the game, like Lisa, for instance, because we see most of our messages what she put out online and everything there. And like our demonstration, she really.
What demonstration are you talking about?
Political a person in opposition should be.
Oh, okay. All right. I understand. You like her posts online?
Yes, sir. Many of our posts we see online.
She's hitting the right notes.
Yeah, it's in the fact because in one of the posts where she make online is like she went on overseas television and she was on an interview.
Yes, I saw a couple of those. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she was really explain and really put the Jamaican pan up in like the.
Yes, she was being very Jamaican, very patriotic. You couldn't understand. You wouldn't be able to pick up that she's a politician.
Yeah, and for a person outside of politics and really calling for in certain members come like William Campbell or something like that, the opposition finance minister. Yeah, for assistance.
All right, so I hear you loud and clear. Thank you.
Papa Nana, good evening.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening, Papa Nana.
Mr. Hughes, how are you? Sandra, how are you?
I'm good, and are you?
How is your mommy?
She's good, and she's good.
Sandra, when last hear from your mommy? Today?
No, yesterday.
Okay.
No, so we are trying to hear up my business, my ear, Papa Nana.
Me not hear of your business, sir. I know your mommy very well, sir. Let me tell you that.
Oh, you know his mother well?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. And I want to have a chat with him whenever I come down there, sir. I know Sandra mother very well, sir.
And you want to have a chat with him? Sounds like he's in trouble.
No, not with Sandra. Not with Sandra, mama. I know her as an indoor agent. I know her.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes, Mr. Papanana.
You know, the only thing that I wouldn't like Mr. Holness adapt from Mr. Trump is lying. But I think Mr. Trump has some very good policy, you know.
Yes? Like which one?
Yeah, because if Mr. Holness was carrying out certain things, a lot of people here would have paid some hefty fine.
What are you talking about now?
I am saying, if the only thing I wouldn't like Mr. Holness to adapt from Mr. Holness is lying. From Mr. Trump is lying.
Yes.
But if Mr. Holness was more stern and was a person like Mr. Trump, Mr. Holness would be a very, very wealthy man.
Yes, him should have some lawsuit of him own?
Of course, man. Yes. You find what them do with Mr. Holness. Almighty God. They went and they pulled this platform. They chat so real things of him and they get away with this scratch-free. Anyway, I want to be somebody else another time. So I don't want to do something else quickly.
You're breaking up
Papa Nana. Where you there? Where you there?
I'm there in the back room. I don't want to disturb him and all that, sir.
Oh?
So, I know Sandra and Mr. Hughes grew up in a nice surrounding, loving. You believe that a child should pay the penalty of his parents for something that he has not created?
No, I don't think so.
Then you want to see certain people who may see in a politician or when poor picnic, they say the sins of his father visit the third and fourth generation. I'm sorry for those children, you know.
Yes, yes.
Mr. Youth,
the burdens they're being given to bear.
So, which one is some people do, especially kids, blatant, tear-filled lies. Oh my God, that's sorry for them children, but you know, I think God will help them out. You know, will help us out.
Yes, He's a merciful God.
Yes, yes. My God, I leave it at that. I'm sorry for those children. I tell you the truth.
All right, Papa Nana.
Yes, sir. God bless you, sir.
Take care.
David, good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen.
How are you this evening?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Just some quick things here. I'd like you to arrange a program. Well, not to arrange a program, at appropriate places in your programming to play some patriotic songs of Jamaica in order to help lift the Jamaican spirit at this time. That is number one. Number two is to affirm that Melissa was no lady. And sometimes I wonder, you know, I don't know who's responsible for naming these hurricanes. But why do they give them the names of people? I mean, I don't know which mother now, you see, is going to name her child, her daughter, Melissa.
No father, no mother from here on will seek to name their child
Melissa.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think she may be retired. You know, if they create a level of destruction and death, their names are retired, never to be used again.
Indeed.
So, for example, we'll never have another Gilbert. And I'm serious. That's actually a fact.
Yes.
Yeah, we will never have another Gilbert. We will never have another Wilma. Yeah. Nor Flora. Yeah, we will never have any of those, and I suspect never again Melissa.
Yes, indeed. And finally, Mr. Hughes, I picked up a song on YouTube, and I don't know if your operator there can find it. I don't know the name of the group or the performer, but it's called Fight for Your Life. You've got to win.
Sight?
I don't know if you can...
Sight as in S as in staying? Sight?
F-I-G-H-T. Fight for your life.
Fight for your life.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you can find it, you can play it for us.
Bugs, let me see how good you are, Bugs. Fight for your life?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you know who sings it?
No, I don't know the gentleman.
Okay.
But it's a group, you know, a large group of singers.
Fight for your life.
Yes.
All right.
Okay,
We're going to
sir.
try and find it.
Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, but you'd like to hear more uplifting patriotic songs at this time.
That is correct, sir.
Ah. You need something to lift the spirits.
Yeah, indeed.
I hear you, sir. Yes. Are you calling us from Jamaica, sir?
I'm in Jamaica. I'm in Kingston.
You're in Kingston. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for calling.
Have a good evening.
You too, David. All right. So, Boogs is going to find Fight for Your Life. Yeah? I know Boogs not going to let down the side in Sandra. 8 minutes going up to 8 o'clock, yeah? And we're taking your calls. What the numbers, Sandra?
630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, 630-9374, and 618-6730. Whodunit is on the line. Good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening, Cliff. Good evening, Sanjay. How are you?
Good evening.
Good, you?
Yeah, good evening, listeners. Yeah, man, I think it's Jermaine Edwards did that song here.
Yeah, Fight for Life, for your life.
Yeah, very nice song, very inspiring.
Well,
Books fine.
Well, let's hear it.
Yeah.
Said the voices in your head say you're not gonna make it, but the tools that's in your hands say you are the greatest. Say you come too far, you just can't turn back now. Keep pressing on and you will be alright, yeah. Sometimes in life you feel defeated, but it's not over. Hold on, don't give in, yeah. You're passing through your testing season. Where is your faith? You gotta win, you gotta win. Early rise and stop before fall. Got to 50-50, but you still need more. Hard work is necessary, extraordinary possibility. Got to show your versatility. Just stick the purpose of God will in your life for what you do. And if the haters hate, no matter what, fight for what you do. And your life got to be strategically aligned with time. Got to see the kingdom of truth. Sometimes in life you feel defeated, but it's not over. Hold on, don't give in, don't give in. You're passing through your test.
This is a good one. I'd say I like it.
It's a wonderful song.
Yeah.
And the video is also very, very good as well, you know. There's a video as well. But what I was looking forward to some of the mainstream artists would come together and do a song in benefit of the hurricane victims, like when they had USA for Africa. So this song, We Rise, is a very lyrical song. So I think some of the mainstream artists could.
It's not too late. Not too late, sir.
Right. But it just need the producer need to come together. Maybe a Ramesh, I don't know who they can use to basically put things together. And so let us do this song, and the proceed goes to.
I'm confident that it's being done as we speak.
Yeah, there's probably some artists in some recording studio now. Yeah.
Yeah, but quickly before time run out, I just want to speak quickly about some damages that been happening to construction projects. One in particularly in the Edmund Ridge area of Montego Bay. I think it's adjacent in the Spot Valley area where almost every roof removed. And clearly, based on video that I've seen, it appears as if it's a result of substandard construction. And the people went to what is happening also, Cliff, Sandra, listeners, YouTubers, is that there is a 6-phase development. It's a 6-phase development. They are now embarking on the third. And phase 1 and 2 has been decimated by Melissa. And they continue to work without even nobody come to say anything to the residents who buy them house or whatever mortgage, and to say, boy, we're sorry, how can we help, and so on and so forth. Nobody. And I understand also that SAJ is also part of it. And I'm really truly sad that SAJ would be involved.
You mean HAJ?
Sorry, yeah, SAJ. And,
housing agency.
And with a disrespect to the people, you know? So that's just my little piece. So you guys have a blessed evening. Thanks for having me. And that Jermaine song is for all the hurricane victims, and not only those who are victims, but the entire Jamaica, the foreigners who are also chipping and helping us. We thank them and we love them. Sorry about the plane crash. Have a blessed evening, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Whodunit.
All right, that's so we're going to leave it for this evening. Want to say thanks to our producer, Dana Davey, our technical operator, Andrew Boogs Anderson, the members of the news and production team led by Cara Powell. Thank you also to our callers, our YouTubers, our WhatsAppers, and our tweeps. I'm Cliff Hughes.
I'm Sanjay Roden.
Reminding you, take care of your loved one and look out for your neighbor. Good night.
Good night.
For over 30 years, Chris and Charles has been financing your goals, dreams, creating your great moments.